Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Groyper Report. Tonight, we have some groundbreaking news to share with you.
Welcome to the Groyper Report. Introducing the most racist men alive. They are shutting it down as we speak. Welcome to the Groyper Report. Sexist. Racist. Phobic this, phobic that. Terrorizing women across the country. Telling them to wear clothes. Saying all women are mid. Minorities fear them. The president has them on speed dial.
Guess what? Your body, my choice.
Brought to you by Frog Aura Maxing. Brought to you by Frog. GigaChat Central, yes, thank you for asking. They all must go. Welcome to the one and only. Defending the last white men on Earth. AtlasThugged and Josh Van Der Nord. This is the Groyper Report.
Hello and welcome in to another edition of the Groyper Report, and I'm your host, AtlasThugged, aka Aaron Shepard, White Boy Deep Voice, whatever you want to call me, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Josh Van Der Nord, aka White Boy Regular Voice, aka Fat Jared Kushner,
and we have a guest who goes by
Foulball Productions, aka I don't know, I don't have any cool nicknames. I wish I did.
That's funny. Streak broken. But we are proud, and we are the one network not afraid to say Christ is King. Glad to be back with you again for another edition of the Groyper Report. We have a good bit to go through this week, obviously, in the life of NJF. Nicholas J. Fuentes, it has been beef, much beef, Jewish, and a pretty cool interview with Hunter Biden. So we have a lot to talk about overall with everything that happened this week. And since we have a guest on, we'll kind of be a little bit more free range, I should say, here. And so without further ado, I guess I'll turn it back over to you two, as I guess rather the guest. What topics, what items that happened with Nicholas J. Fuentes this week were top priority for you?
It's an interesting question. I mean, I got onto Nick a lot later than like many people. And so when I graduated into appreciating his content, like I was just floored with how good his geopolitical analysis is. And the stuff that he was doing earlier in the week with like the Iran war and the dynamics therein were just like mesmerizingly insightful. So that I mean, early on, and I know there's like the meme going on where it's like, oh, another Iran war show, but it's like, it is like, could be a civilization ending war. Like it's worth talking about. So that stuff. And obviously the Hunter Biden thing was huge.
Yeah. The Hunter Biden interview. Did you guys both watch the full thing?
Mm-hmm.
I watched your analysis of it.
Oh, you did? So
Yes.
What were your thoughts, I guess, in the generality? Like, what stuck out to you? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Dude, I thought it was great. I mean, like, Hunter Biden's a liberal. You know, there's only so much you can expect from him. But, it's like Joe Biden hasn't been the president forever. Yeah, Hunter Biden was corrupt. Donald Trump is corrupt. So we can just be honest about the situation. Hunter Biden's a chiller, dude. Like, he was cool.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is cool, bro. The Bidens are awesome. So I actually really enjoyed the conversation. And it's like, and it is kind of, it kind of gave me a glimpse into like what we could have had. You know what I mean? Like the Bidens, in terms of like their aesthetic and their vibe, like they are like an American political family. And it's like, damn, it sucks that they're gay. So
True.
Suck.
True.
But yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I liked it better than a lot of his other interviews because this one was, it was oppositional. It was, I wouldn't even say confrontational, but it was like oppositional. Like they exchanged like their differences of opinion compared to like what we've been getting with like, say for example, like the Tyson Hockley, where it's like another one of these interviews where it just kind of goes to the same basic tropes of like, where'd you come from? What's your background? Do you like Hitler? Wow, that's crazy. It doesn't really go anywhere. It just like stays super, super flat level. But you thought the same, Bubble?
I thought it was great. I thought it was so much fun. It's just hilarious. I was like, this is the most like peak like 2026 thing possible.
Yeah.
It's like, because you're like, look, it's Hunter Biden, total, obviously crackhead, degenerate, like spiral, but like he is the president's son, the former president's son, the vice president's son. Biden was a force in politics for like 30 years or something like that, and like Fuentes is like talking to him. It's like so surreal, but it's so like appropriate for the time that we live in. Like we live in this like chronically online time. Fuentes is in such ascension, and he's just solidified himself as part of the conversation. And then this thing just falls out of the sky. It's just like, yes, like I'm here for this. I'm here for it. That I thought it was great. I thought the conversation was great. I'd say, yeah, there was some like confrontation, and it was kind of funny to hear like Hunter Biden just spout like the most milquetoast, like middle of the road, traditional liberal stuff. You're just like, Nick, you have to understand, like they were discriminated against and there was slavery. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
preach it, King.
It was just.
What's funny about that is it's crazy how crazy that the left has gotten. I know I sound like a basic bitch right wing person here, but it's like where hearing Hunter Biden going like, you don't think the Holocaust was bad and you don't care about civil rights, like that was such a breath of fresh air to like of a conversation to be having is crazy in 2026. But it genuinely was like, it was like, yeah, man, we just, get over it. It's no big deal. It was refreshing, dude.
That reminded me of like just how not engaging with reality many of these left-wing people are. Like,
well, sure, but
yeah. It was like my high school civics teacher. It's like straight out the textbook. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you don't understand. There's discrimination. You're like, oh wow, really? What are you doing with the hundreds of body cam videos I watch online? Are we gonna face that? Are we gonna address that? Or we're just gonna go with, hey, there was discrimination, so blank check forever.
Well, and what I mean by that is essentially this: is it's like it's refreshing in the sense that it's a type of like left-wingism that I can wrap my head around. Like I can get how old is Hunter Biden? Like, and he's got to be in his like 50s or something. A rich 50-year-old kind of like middle of the road liberal guy getting boo-hooey about Jim Crow law. You know what I mean? Like I can wrap my head around that rather than talking to a 20-something-year-old who is like full blown that freak in Maine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess more so where my head was at was just thinking about how he's talking about all the 400 years of slavery and black people, and he's talking about maybe more so like in the vein of his wife, right? Like, my wife is Jewish, and what you said didn't make her feel good. But then Nick is trying to say, okay, well, here's the things that like you guys do to us, and he's like, oh, that's not real. It's like, so what are we even doing here then? Like, if you're just outright saying like you want us to care about your plights, but then when we try to bring up ours, you like deny, deflect, and get angry. I mean, what does that even spell then out? Like I was even saying, I think during the stream, I was like, was that not argument for segregation? Like if you don't want to even be bothered with like the plight of other people, should we not just all then go off on our own separate ways and then we deal with them in and of ourselves? But no, it's like they want the white people to feel bad, and then they just don't care about your issues. It's like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's actually part of the reason why there's so much anger. But go ahead.
No, that's why I thought it was funny, because it was kind of like, it was like arguing with a textbook. Like it was like there was no like when it came to the political positions, that's all just what you're supposed to say. Like, this is the ideology of a Western liberal man. Like, that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to like lean back on these things and sort of deify the civil rights movement. And that's the most important thing that ever happened. And those are the lessons. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's not 92 anymore. Like it was like really interesting to just hear this kind of like archaic talking points with zero new insight, with any new, like, it was like looking at like an old sculpture. You're like, oh, wow, from like a totally different time. That's fascinating.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we used to think like this a long time ago. It's like, well, you're ancient, brother. Like, you belong in a museum almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's like, is that an indication of like they're in echo chambers, or is it an indication that like no matter how factually true, like there was like with the black thing, right? It was like the crime. Hunter Biden gave this weird response uh, to the effect of like, when Nick is like, well, it's not black people, it's the crime, and like we know who's committing the crime in Chicago, and he literally gives it away where he goes, well, that may be true, but like
We're not supposed to acknowledge it out loud.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean that may be true? Like you're arguing in opposition to what we're putting forward, but then you don't even know if it's true or not, or are at least halfway acknowledging that it is. So like, then what's your problem here? It's like, how can on one hand you acknowledge that it may be the reality, but on the other hand, if you're acknowledging it may be, it means you don't know, so you're not authority on the issue. How do you have any credibility? I mean, what are you doing here? Who are you then to tell someone who does know the facts and statistics that like they should have a different position on there? And it's just all these kind of small minor things, but it was a good conversation overall. I liked it.
Yeah.
When was the fist fight? Did I miss that?
I know.
Yeah, well, apparently he went on with Jennifer Welch before, like the day before, and he even said that. He was like, I don't know why they hyped it up like that. He said that to Jennifer Welch, who's like a well-known left-wing idiot girl who runs a podcast too. She did one that got off the ground a little bit with what's his name from The Office, Rainn Wilson, the guy who plays Dwight. So like she's been getting a few like bigger star pieces to her podcast. I don't know where she comes from though. But I was waiting for that the entire show. I'm like, it's like 10 minutes left. I'm like, does the fight happen in the final like 5 minutes? It's like, no, it didn't. It was just over exaggeration. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because it kind of it's funny how Hunter sounds like his dad. Did anyone else notice that?
Yeah.
There was like this, he had that kind of like, come on, man, like that kind of Bidenism. I was like, yo, that's wild.
Yeah.
But the other thing was he was doing the Piers Morgan thing. Like it was a more genteel and kind of respectful dynamic, but it was the same thing. It was basically like, hey, I'm going to bring him on here and chastise him for the things that he had said in the past. And then he just gets jujitsu'd into the ground. Cause it's like, yeah, like, Nick doesn't just say inflammatory things. He's like got intelligent reasonings why he says this stuff. And I thought I think I tweeted it was like the final boss of like that paternalistic liberal man trying to scold him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing I noticed too, that was like, he repeated himself multiple times. Like many different instances, he like literally repeated the same thing over again. Now I kind of was a little tipped off to that. Cause I'm like, I've been around a lot of family who's like very, I guess, drug addict or former addicts. And it stuck out to me like a sore thumb because when I listened to prior to the interview, I listened to a clip of him with Don Lemon, trying to think of that stupid guy's name. And he did the same thing then. During just a 3-minute clip, he like repeats himself 2.5 times. And it's partly this kind of like, he doesn't even know where he's at in the conversation because I think this obviously his brain's a little bit damaged from doing crack cocaine and everything. And the same thing he does it in Jennifer Welch. So that's like he repeats himself. And I think that's part of the reason maybe why they were doing all the different camera angles too in certain portions is because if you listen back to it, like Hunter Biden repeats almost word for word his same thought like in 3 different occasions. And I would have to imagine that's because he's not all with us. He is, but like his brain pathways have been damaged, I think, pretty obviously.
Well, I also think it's a case of, I mean, I know he's had drug issues and probably still does. But I also think it's just like Hunter Biden is a prototypical Nepo baby. And I'm not even saying this to like be derogatory. It's just, he is essentially just like your average Joe. He's your, you know what I mean? Like he is
he's just like me.
No, well, kind of in the sense of like, he's like a Martha's Vineyard baby. You know what I mean? He is just Joe Biden's son. And I'm not even trying to be a dick because this interview kind of made me like him even more. But it's like, I don't think it's, he has brain damage and he's just repeating the same lines over and over again. I think it's, he does not think about these things at all. He just has these platitudes rattling around in his head. And it works well when you're on a, friendly liberal podcast and you can say, these people were in chains for 400 years. But then when you go on with someone like Nick and he actually like kind of picks apart, it just, it doesn't compute.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't my programming.
Right. Yeah, that I think you've nailed it, because it's like, what's one of the more typical like kind of right wing criticisms of like the left, especially the leftist elite, is like, you don't have to deal with the consequences of the things that you're putting out there, right? You live in a gated community, you live in incredibly wealthy things that are like 90% white, like you're never going to have to face that. I mean, could there be a more appropriate target to launch that at than Hunter Biden? You're like, you didn't even need to earn anything. You were born privileged. You're born in the elite political class on the right side of the political discussion. And it's like, yeah, you can say stuff like that. And you can even probably earnestly believe it and never really have to challenge it. But yeah, it's like, there's nothing, there doesn't have to be substance there, because like you said, it's like the prince. It's like he's just born Joe Biden's son, and that's about all he ever needs to accomplish.
Yeah. You get used to like you get to spam B when you're the Nepo baby. It's like, dude, everything works as long as I spam B. Then he gets into that spot and it's like, spam B is like not working. What's going on?
I remember back in, I think 21 or 22, when the Biden presidency was in full swing, and everyone was just like the laptop, Hunter Biden, they were just crapping on the Bidens.
Yeah.
And this was one of Nick's original like instances where he was pissing everyone on the right off, because he was just like, someone super chatted and they were bitching about Hunter Biden, and it was like the video where he was like half naked in a pool or something. He's like, bro, Hunter Biden is having sex with his hot niece and on drugs in a liminal space, and you're crashing out, bro. Hunter Biden is way cooler than Donald Trump's kids. Hunter Biden, kicks Don Jr.'s ass. And I remember people were crashing. That was like one of those original funny crash outs. So it was kind of cool to see it come like full swing, however many years later, 4 years later.
I met Hunter Biden one time.
Really?
Yeah. I was bartending at a place in Beverly Hills, and I didn't know who he was. And I sat down at the bar, and like my manager was this girl, and she was like a former model. She's like, that's Joe Biden's son. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I give a shit. And then like he was, he was charming.
Like, Tyrannus.
You're right.
But he like, well, this was Trump 1. So this must have been like 2018 or something like that. Gotcha. 2019. And he was actually really charming. Like, he turned me around. I was like, oh, this guy's fucking cool. And dude, the chicks, they were all so into it. They were all just like, oh my God. Because it's like, it was like, they were all, it's LA, right? They're all melting down over Trump still. And, he had the cachet of being in the Obama administration, the best administration ever, according to like girls like that, right? So they were just like, oh geez, like they melted. They loved Hunter. And he was slick. He was cool. He was like really polite and respectful. He tipped well. Like he totally had it going on. You could tell. Like he had swag.
Yeah, where were they originally from, though? Like, weren't they originally from the East, on the East Coast?
Pennsylvania,
right?
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, Midwest. So maybe not even East Coast. That's interesting, though. Cool story. You had the chance to, do some things there. I guess I won't expand on that too much.
In Minecraft.
No, not even in the violent form. I guess I'll leave it at that.
No, he was there with a chick. As I remember, she was pretty cute. But yeah, I think he could have had his pick of any of the girls that were there if he wanted. Like he had like celebrity status. This was like well before all the stuff came out about him being a cokehead and a degenerate and the Ukraine oil thing or gas thing. Like he was just, he was just cool. It was like a celebrity.
Yeah. It's Burisma, right? The Burisma,
yeah.
Being the seat of the board there, which is one major element that Nick talked about through this week, which is the corruption comparatively between like everyone screaming about the laptop from hell and the Burisma scandal with Hunter Biden is like a drop in the bucket compared to the billions and billions of enrichment that is being done and happening through Donald Trump and his family, as well as like Howard Lutnick and Howard Lutnick's sons. The Lutnick son thing occurred like at the beginning of the Iran war, actually, with like a specific process. I'd have to go read back into it as well too, but I think who's been tracking? Is it Forbes or Economic Times? It's like something like $6.35 billion has been enriched between the family in of itself, between like the two sons, Eric, Donald Trump Jr., and Trump himself. And then I think I don't know if they're counting Kushner in there or not. But it's excessive.
Didn't Lutnick like survive 9/11 and then make money on it?
I don't know.
so.
He survived it. He took his kid. He took his son to daycare or something, so he wasn't in the building at the time. I don't know if I guess because he had offices in the World Trade Center, so I would imagine he had an insurance policy. So like
Makes sense.
I'm sure he made some money. Yeah.
I'm not like accusing him of like setting it up or anything, but I think like he got a pretty big insurance payout.
Mm-hmm.
Would make sense. I'm thinking of the guy who owned the building. Who is the one above him that everyone else talks about?
Oh God,
the old man.
Oh,
something
the guy who.
It's been so long. I mean, you're exactly right.
I do know who you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Luke Rudkowski was the guy who like ran up onto him in person that like got him like big. He like ran up to the guy at one of these like WEF like forums or one of these like the Bilderberg. I think it was the Bilderberg meeting. Was like one of these guys was at. Was it Silverstein?
That sounds right, Larry Silverstein.
Larry Silverstein. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Larry Silverstein, that's one who I always remember because he was the one that, like, his story had like changed, like was one thing, and then afterwards was a little bit different, but it was something like to the effect of, yeah, he got a call on his way in, and they decided, oh, no, we need you to come stop and check this one thing out, and the next, the tower blows up, and then he makes a bunch of money off the insurance payout. Yeah, and it was like all in a month before it happened.
Yeah, like he put the policy in like a month before 9/11 or something like that. Or it's just like, dude, if you kill your spouse, you're going to prison. Like, if you kill like 3,000 Americans, like,
yeah, you make money off of it.
Yeah, he was the one who. Funny. It would be funny if it was purely a coincidence, and he's just like, oh shit, like. That's not gonna look good, dude. That'd be like if you took a life insurance policy out and then your wife's ate off the poisoned cheese for the mice or something. You'd be like, yo, that's not good.
Right? Yeah, because that's the reason. I guess I followed him more. Yeah, because he was the one who owned. As far as I understand, he was like the one who majoritively owned the building, and he was the one who took out the insurance policy. So I followed it more from his perspective than Howard. But Zeb's in chat too, and he makes a good point.
Zeb.
It's what his sons did to the tariffs. That's what it was. It was the tariffs. It wasn't the Iran war. I knew it was like a one-off kind of instance. Zeb says, I'm late, but Lutnick shorted the shit out of the stocks. Same shit his sons did to tariffs recently. And it was because they had, I'm not going to even attempt to be an expert and explain it, but what I understand is that basically for pennies on the dollar made these huge margins off of the tariffs, knowing that it was going to basically bounce back and they would fall through, and then they would basically eat up all the capital there. And then you even have the more recent stuff too, which is like the crypto coin, like the rug pulling of like both Trump and the Trump coin and Melania. Like the Melania thing is insane. Like the Melania coin, if you would have invested like $1 million into Melania coin, you'd have $8,000 today. And then the Trump one's like,
and you know what? Honestly, you would deserve it.
Oh, dude!
If you invested $1 million into Melania coin, you deserve to lose all of that. That's it's
agreed.
Not right. It's still a scam. It's still like really predatory. But fuck you.
Yeah, right. No, I agree. And then now you have the fact that they're monetizing like a group chat. Is that what it is? Like they're going to monetize like early access Truth Social posts about specific things relevant to like the market. As far as I understand,
think it's just that you get like his Truth Social posts earlier than the rest of the public, but I don't think it's very long. I think I understand
like an hour,
seconds or something. Is it even an hour? Okay,
yeah, and it's something to do with like that's enough time to give people to like be able to make their trades on the early information. So you're basically selling early access. I will say that conversation needs to be had though, because Polymarket you can literally bet on anything. And I do foresee a future scenario where people might get caught up in some kind of charge like that, where it's like, bro, like, how am I supposed to even guess that Polymarket would be betting on something like this? Because now it's like,
good point.
You make if everything can be bet on, like, well, what then becomes inside information? What becomes early access?
Can't you make the bet? I mean, I've never used Polymarket, but you can make the bet, right? You can just prop any bet.
Well, those are the early accusations against Vivek Ramaswamy, was that he was the one pumping his own money into the Polymarket to enhance his odds or make it appear as if he had greater odds. like playing the market.
Pretty clever. Yeah, I give him that. It's a clever move.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess, while we're on that note, one of the more informational bits that came from Tuesday on America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes was actually his kind of lambasting on the reality that they are ruling by press release. And so I think that'll give us kind of early intro into how Nick was talking about the administration this week. So I'll go ahead and pull it up and bring it over. We'll actually bring it over to the right side. Struggle bus today, I guess. Let me put it on the big screen, and chat, let me know if there's any audio issues, but it should be all good.
They're not even going to do anything with it. The second feature of Trumpism, it's not just that they throw out a bunch of crap for the voters, it's that they never even follow up on it. And I heard it said this way by somebody inside the administration. They said they're governing by press release. I know a lot of people in the administration, they're just as frustrated as I am about the lack of progress. And a buddy of mine said to me, he said, it's just like the first term. He said, they're just governing by press release. Instead of doing deportations in reality, in real life, what they will do is they will find a based Gen Z intern to tweet something from the DHS Twitter account about like returning to tradition. And we're supposed to accept that as progress. That's supposed to be the there. Not the real deep, like, look, you run the federal government. So instead of giving us actual policy, which is the deportations, physically removing the people or building the physical structure, you're going to get a tweet. You're going to get a press release from DHS, and it's going to say, return to tradition, heritage American, like whatever. And same thing with Tulsi Gabbard at DNI. Remember what a big deal that was supposed to be? The Democrats like RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard are inside the administration, and Tulsi Gabbard was appointed the head of the Directorate of National Intelligence, the ODNI. And what does she do last year? She gives a big speech about how Obama manipulated the 2016 election. Did we get an indictment? Were there charges? Was there any further action? No, it's literally been 13 months. That was announced last June, and there's been no follow-up, and there are no plans to indict Obama. It's another press release. It's a big press conference. It's a spectacle. Same thing with the Epstein files. One of the first things they did at the DOJ is they furnished Jack Posobiec and Mike Cernovich and Scott Pressler and all the idiots with the Epstein file binder, a big spectacle, a big press event, and they took the binders home, posted what was inside them online, and it was all the same old stuff. Then they buried the Epstein files a few months later. Then the DOJ signed a memo actually covering up the Epstein files. And it's like this with everything. RFK Jr., are we going to do anything to make America healthy again? Or are we going to change the food pyramid? Are we actually going to go and ban dyes and preservatives? And are we actually going to create health regulations, go after ultra-processed foods? Are we going to change the food pyramid? Which I believe they did earlier in the year. And it was once again a big press event. Oh, the Trump administration changed the food pyramid, but it didn't actually do anything. It's literally just governing by press release. It's slop. It's all garbage. It means nothing. And then it's just said on social media. They pat themselves on the back. They congratulate themselves. They say mission accomplished. And then they go on doing nothing. And so here it is again. Big speech, prime time. You're not going to want to miss this. People will be surprised about what Trump says on Thursday from the Oval Office. He gives this grand speech about Chinese interference in 2020. He's asked about it less than a week later. So are you going to do anything about it? You know, it was a long time ago. I think it's just whatever now.
There's kind of a good gist on what the Trump administration has been, all the failed promises. And specifically, Maha is kind of like non-existent. Like, can anyone see Maha anymore? Is Maha in the room with us right now? And just like disappeared, like almost like entirely. And one thing even to add on top of there, which I don't know if he ever addressed on the show this week, was did you see Tom Homan now using the language of deport maxing?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was
That's so cringe.
It's super cringe. And much like what he was saying here, one of those interns took it and ran with it. It was one of the White House accounts. I believe it's one of their DHS, government check verified account that added onto it and was like, yeah, we're going to be deport maxing. So they just piggybacked off of what Tom Homan had said. I'll see if I can find it, but it's all talk, no action.
It's like when I was a
pudding
kid.
is over there, Grandpa.
Yeah, dude, that's like when I was a kid. My dad would say two-pack, like two-pack sugar. You know, like,
That's funny. I'm gonna go grab it, see if I can put it up. But yeah, here it is. This is 15 seconds.
What's astonishing about, but real quick though, what's astonishing about this is like, if you talk to any of these boomers, they are fully on board that this is working. Like there is no doubt in their minds that no, we're winning, dude. Everything's fine. Like this is great.
Yeah, and
to be honest, right? To like who else is reporting the honesty about the lack of mass deportations? Like where else are you going to find that information except for like Nick?
Well, right.
Exactly.
Like
everyone's just assuming it's just going on in the background, but it's just not.
Well, that's what I mean. When you look about when you compare like the coverage, the Israel critical and the administration critical coverage, and it's like, well, who even is close to that? I think Tucker comes to mind. But Tucker's nowhere even close to what on the cultural issues. Tucker's still on this.
Mention immigration in like a year. I don't know. When does he even talk about that?
Well, I'm sure if you watch some of the shows this week, like Tucker and I got the the $100 group chat one, so I got like the show and he was not gone. Was on Thursday, and he just ripped into Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson during his interview with Stephen A. Smith, that's who it was with, he's talking about how it's a class issue, right? He's talking about how it's like it's socioeconomic, and that he's kind of he's hinting at and gesturing towards, and this is how Nick framed it, like it's a Marxian framework, which is that religion and culture and race and identity have nothing to do with anything, because if we just actually we fix the economy and these billionaires, this class warfare, then like we'll begin to heal. And it is this Marxian framework that like actually all that's going on in the world of Tucker is it's this class warfare, and it just echoes like this Marxian kind of thought. But this clip here, I do believe this is the one
was talking about. I think it was last week when Nick was talking about that very thing, and it was about the way, there is no left and right. It's like that divide isn't real. And then he goes on to say, he's just like, okay, well then like give up the trans thing, right? Like give that up, like let that go, or let us do mass deportations, let that go. Oh no, there is a divide. There actually is a political divide. Right. It isn't just some manufactured polarity. It's real, and it's like so stop with that framing.
Well, so many of these people, they do the left-right thing, right? Like even Sneako, when Ryad was telling him like, hey, you're like left-wing, and he's like, oh, you're doing the thing that everyone does. Everybody knows left-right's not real. It's like, what are you even talking about? Like there's a difference between like the establishment left-right and like them being, unified, and obviously like the inner goings of like in the government, which even inside of that, it's like, sure, there's a large portion of them that may be on the same team for Israel, but that doesn't mean that the ideologies of left wing and right wing just doesn't exist. Especially if you just walk outside. Like, what are you talking about? There's left wingers and right wingers everywhere. But just to play this real quick, I think this is the deport max.
Okay, yeah.
I believe so.
We have the highest numbers of arrests in the history of the agency of ICE, and July is tracking to even beat that. So we're hitting on all cylinders now. We're deportation maxing. Since we're fully funded, we just
you guys have the same reaction. Okay, I just wanted to play that to let you know it was a real thing. But go ahead.
What I was going to say real quick, though, on that point is actually a lot of the people like Tucker, they feel like where people are in this country is like where Nick Fuentes and Hunter Biden were. Like, it's like, like Charlie Kirk, this is the conversation. If we just everyone had conversations like this, it'd be all hunky dory where, we don't see eye to eye, but we can shake hands and, dap me up, brother. Like, we can have a little fun with it. No, like Hunter Biden is the exception to that. The vast majority of these people are nuts. And it has to do with this, again, this idea that we're all on the same level. We're all on the same playing field. The difference is like education and upbringing. It's not like that.
Socioeconomic
like,
factors.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Try having a conversation like that with any of these people. Like if you went to a liberal college, like I went to App State, it's super liberal. And this was like 2019 liberal. Like
you went to App State?
Yeah, you didn't know.
I think you might have told. I think you might have told me that actually.
Yeah, these people are nuts, dude. They are like evil, spiteful people. Like I literally like no one would know I was a conservative because the way they would talk about people that believed in like you should be able to collect rainwater is they want you dead.
I mean, that's how it feels to be a conservative on campus. You know, like you're basically Anne Frank.
Oh my God.
You just got to hide in your attic the whole time.
I'm like a lot older than y'all. So I was in college in like, I guess this was like 2006. And so I had no idea. Like the conversation was not nearly as robust. Like I was pretty political in high school. And then like the Bush administration kind of like disenfranchised me to like the right wing. So I kind of just felt homeless, you know? I know this sounds like your fucking grandpa talking about like, an FDR. But anyway, so I took sociology. I didn't even really know what it was. And like, the ferocity inside those classrooms, like it was so confusing. And I would like go to war with these people because of their lack of logic or their inconsistency or the ideology. And, you know, just because I'm like, I was for healthy debate. I was for spirited debate. I thought that I believed in all that. And then, you know, they would like talk shit about you behind your back. Like if you were talking to a girl, they would try to like dissuade that, you know, relationship from happening. You become this pariah. Like there was one time I remember like, it was one of those gender things where there's like no difference between men and women. And I was just like, okay, listen, like if there's a girl out there who can like tackle Curtis Martin, like I want her on the Jets, but that just doesn't exist. And then they're like, then they go about in their friend the dorm and they're just like, he doesn't want girls. He doesn't think girls should play football. And it's like, that's not fucking what I said. But it was like my first encounter with all that stuff. And you're right, dude, it's devious. It's a blood sport. There's no like civility or honor or decency. It's like kill or be killed.
Well, you know what's kind of sad about it, and even Hunter Biden did this too, right? It's this, what do they appeal to? When you're in the middle of the argument with this stuff. They go like, well, come on, man. Everybody knows that's wrong. what do you mean by that? Everybody knows that's wrong. Like, what do you, and you're like, well, no, because come on, man. Like we learned after the Civil War, like slavery was wrong. Who's we and what did you learn? You know, it's like they're just appealing to they're appealing to consensus. They're appealing to society. They're appealing to current thing. And it's like, that is not an argument. Like it just simply is not.
I was explaining this to my mom, you know, because like I'm red pilling her, and it's we're getting there. You know, she's doing really well. Like I'm really proud of her. But I was telling her, I was like, you know, talking about like the way like our liberal religion in the United States is like, you know, Hitler is Satan. And Martin Luther King is Jesus. And like, that's like the new dynamic. And she was like, who said this? And I kind of walked her through it, but essentially that's Hunter Biden's religion, right? You could hear it the way he talked about it. He had that same kind of default structure, like literally like civics you get in middle school type shit.
Right. Mm-hmm. It is kind of sad just how like browbeaten some people are. And so many people are also like barely engaged. That's actually what pisses me off too. People who are barely engaged. They couldn't tell you anything about what's going on. And then they like start crashing out because you're like ever so slightly critiquing them or maybe being critical about something they believe. And it goes to show you like the cognitive dissonance is so strong with so many people.
Dude, since we're here on the Groyper report that I can say this because it was driving me nuts. There was some clip of Nick and it was like the whole like Hashem, if this is the anti-Semitism, like I'm sorry, I was just kidding. And then I would look at the comments and people like thought he was being authentic. He thought he was being genuine. Like he couldn't read that he was kidding. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, A, you're too stupid to understand sarcasm. That's embarrassing. But then I realized like, oh, so many of the people who like criticize Nick, like they don't watch. They don't know what he's saying. They see one clip and then they define their entire worldview of who he is based on that.
So on that, like, and Atlas and I have talked about this, like having worked with Zeb and doing like, you know, doing nav with Zeb, every time I watch Nick Fuentes now, I'm thinking like, ooh, how's he gonna take that? Yeah. And so like the whole thing recently this week where he's like, oh, he's a Sephardic Jew. And it was like, the way he denied it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they're not gonna like that. They're not gonna buy that.
Dude, I had a literal comment. I put his whole 5-minute response in there, which I also have the clip in here too, of the claim. And literally one of the top comments on my video was like, see, did you not see how he said it? He said, what was the way that he framed it as? He was like,
he said like, oh, well, he's like, oh, you're calling me a Jew? Well, okay, so we're both Jews then. It was
Yeah,
kinda like
yeah.
that, yeah.
yeah. Well, it was like in the beginning about his like dad, right? It was like,
Right.
Yeah,
He's like,
your
so-
dad's Jewish, my dad's Jewish.
Yes.
Like, okay. Like,
so what's
what
the
are we
point?
doing?
Yeah.
It felt like a concession. Yeah.
And people were like, oh my, like, see, he admitted it. And then it's like the other 4 minutes in this clip is him going like, it's so bullshit. Like this is, and it's just like, they can't.
It's the thing. It's
They
like you
can't.
don't recognize that he's not addressing it because the accusation is juvenile. Like it's like it's to defend it is the point. It validates it.
Right.
Boy, now, and it's like all these wignats, they hate Sneako, and they're like when Nick and Sneako were cool, it's like, oh, this is so bad, like they should not be together. Now it's the gospel truth what Sneako says, because Sneako said that Nick told me in private behind closed
Good
doors that
point.
he's a Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
just like-
meanwhile, both these guys have admitted publicly that they are Jewish,
yeah.
right? Like like Sneako,
Yeah.
and Sneako was like, "Ooh," and he was like proud, he's all pumped to be
Yeah.
there on with Aiden.
He's good. He's
Ross.
buddy with Aiden Ross, and he did it multiple
Yeah.
times too. It's like there's more than one occasion he said it on video, and then Dan was like the more recent one, obviously, with his like expose with Mel Gibson, where he admits to it, and then he like deletes the tweet afterwards too, and it's like, bro, everyone saw you, everyone sees this, like there's no hiding from this anymore. But we do have the clip. I mean, we're going to go ahead and I guess jump to that. That was kind of the big accusation this week,
Sure.
and
I loved it. It was great. I had a blast with this.
I thought it was good too. I guess the way that I framed this was, to me, it almost appeared like it's they had to up the ante. Like the Sneakos, the Dan Bilzerians, the Leonardo Jonis, the Jake Shields, this group that is made up of by people who are just oppositional to Nick. This Israel critical, oppositional to Nick group. We would all brand them here as like the low IQ anti-Semites. I know that still hurts some people's feelings perhaps. But
Aw.
that being said, it's like, to me, they had to up the ante. It was like calling him gay is not working, despite Morgan Ariel and Leonardo Joni going, guys, we promise, you just have to wait on it. Like, okay, we waited, nothing happened. Then the Fed accusations, he got Fed jacketed again recently. Like, oh, why don't you think about this? Or why don't you think and now it's like, well, now we have to call him Jewish. Like, clearly nothing else is working. So maybe if we call him Jewish, this will be what will actually get his audience to back away from him. And you got to
Dude,
also question like
the tweet.
motive.
Oh, sorry. Just go
ahead.
ahead. Just the tweet thread between him and Bilzerian was just so funny. He's just like I tweeted. I was just like Dan Bilzerian. I'm 12% Ashkenazi. Nick lol. And then Dan being like, no, you're a Jew. It's just like the whole you're Jewish and Sneako said so. It's just
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
And now we're
I
gonna
love how
Go ahead, Josh.
like because Nick will do that. He'll be like Jeremy Boring will post some like hour-long thing, and Nick will just be like, "You're Jewish," and then
Right.
Dan Bilzerian tries to do that to Nick, and I'm like, maybe I'm
Yeah.
biased, but it's just not the same, dude. It's just not the same.
Well, isn't
also
it kind of
like-
crazy how they're all coming out here and being like, no. Sneako said that Nick told him in private. It's like, so now we're trusting Sneako now. Like, now we're trusting Sneako. Like, this is real. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, have they been beefing for how long now? And like, Sneako didn't bring this up at all anytime prior. It's like, and I just like, he's just a liar.
And look, I didn't gravitate towards Nick, because I was like, well, he's definitely not gay. He's definitely not a Jew. So that's good enough for me.
Oh,
It's
Mexican.
Like, the
That's the
reason
other
I
one,
like Nick is because his insight is immaculate. He's got an incredible, like the word he always uses, perspicacity, but it's true. Like this incredible geopolitical insight and political intuition. And he does all the work and he can like regurgitate it in a really digestible, interesting way. It's like none of him being gay or Jewish, which retarded arguments anyway, wouldn't undermine that. It wouldn't undermine the fact that Casey Putsch was a joke, and it wouldn't undermine the fact that Bilzerian was a joke. That he's been right about the Iran war, that he's right about mass deportation. Like so fucking shut up. Like,
Yeah.
That's just so
Well,
fucking childish.
It's dumb and it's not substantive either, because that was
Right,
kind of really the
right.
base of his response, which I'll play here in a second. was this idea of like, so if you guys are confirmed Jewish, and then you're saying that and you're attacking me for supposedly being Jewish, like the end result of this should be what? That everyone should unfollow and block us and no one should listen to anybody here? Like, what is the end result of this then? Like, what does it even mean at that point? And
Right.
but I think they also goes to show like the short-sightedness of it too. And like, I'll be honest, dude, like Demazarian's one thing, Sneako's another. But if I have to read, if I'm forced to have to translate another Jake Shields tweet because he just simply cannot like type, like I'm gonna crash out. I might have to block him, dude. Like it bothers me that I see his tweet sometimes, and I have to actually go, hold on. Like I grab my glasses. I'm like, I'm getting the hieroglyphic chart out. I'm like, this would be. Go ahead.
Give him the benefit of the doubt because his phone, he uses speech to text, and his phone has cauliflower ear too.
Dude,
That's
there's
funny.
a video game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's like a medieval Czechoslovakia game. It's really sick. I love it. But you have to learn reading. It's like a skill. And if you don't have a good reading skill, when you look at a book, like the words are like out of place and the letters are backwards. It's like a Jake Shields tweet. It's like you're like, whoa, you really can focus so you can kind of translate.
That's funny. It is a good game though, by the way. But no, I'll go ahead and play the response to him being called Jewish. This is probably right, like the biggest, maybe dramatic thing before the interview this week. And it was on Wednesday, I do believe. So let me get it pulled up for you guys. But here it is. It is very, very funny. If I get to the right screen here. There we go.
Career, I'm taking it as a compliment. For the first time in my long and storied career in this movement, I wish it was true. People are saying, you're Jewish, and I'm like, you know what? I sort of wish I was. I wish I could claim that at this point. I don't want to be like you niggas anymore. Listen, if the movement is Stu Peters, who's like a drunk, and it's Dan Kazarian, who is this manlit, fake poker player, Instagram celebrity has-been, and it's Dr. Jang and Sneako, and who else? It's like, if that's the anti-Semitic movement, then like, Hashem, make me Jewish. Like, Hashem, make me Jewish. Please let me join you. I'm sorry. I was just kidding. No, it's true. We were just jealous. We want to be like you. It's like, if that's the movement, then we're cooked. Look at the Jews roster. The Jews have Larry Ellison. And the Jews have George Soros. And they got Adam Sandler. These people don't fuck around. They got Jack Black. They got Benjamin Netanyahu. They got some heavy hitters. And even on their bench are the goy. They also have the top goys too. They got Donald Trump, Elon Musk. They made Ye apologize. Like, their deck is stacked. The bench is stacked. And then you look at the anti-Semites, and who do we got? Stu Peters, who like crashed his four-wheeler drunk and then got arrested. And you got Ian Carroll. Okay, enough said. And you got Sneako and Dan Kazarian. And Bill Zarian, he joined the fray. Now he's an anti-Semite. Jake Shields, who legitimately has brain damage, like punch drunk brain damage. It's like the lineup is a joke, you guys. It's like Lollapalooza for retards. Like, you're announcing a lineup of anti-Semites, and it's like, please, I can't take any more. Stop. We don't want any more anti-Semites. Imagine you go back in time like 4 years. Nobody was anti-Semitic. Nobody knew about the Jews. Nobody knew the Jews did 9/11. Nobody knew the Jews were doing these things. And you're thinking, like, who's going to be the celebrity endorsements for anti-Semitism? It's like this MMA fighter. It's like, remember Dan Bilzerian from 2015 when he was on Instagram? And it's Sneako because, like, of course, he follows every fad. And it's this, like, COVID truther alcoholic who beats his family, Stu Peters. It's like, don't we have anyone better? Like, we used to have Kanye He doesn't want any part of this anymore. It's like, I don't know, guys. I think, and I think it's time to pack it up. Hashem. Can we get that guy to wrap the tefillin? Is he still there? Is he still in Chicago? Did he catch his flight yet? I think, do we have any time for a last minute tefillin wrapping, please? So yeah, they're calling me Jewish, and it's like, damn, I wish. We're stuck on this side. We're stuck on the wrong side. Stuck on the wrong side of creation, on the wrong side of God's promise.
I think if you look at the comments, I think this was the tweet where I was just like, oh my God, okay, the critics are retarded. Like, I think this is the tweet where it was like Jews who were like, yeah, he gets it. Because like anti-Semitism's stupid. He started to come around. It's like, are you people retarded? I thought Jews were supposed to be funny. I thought you traffic like in comedy. You don't get sarcasm. You don't understand like hyperbole. Like,
no, well, the crazy thing is like, I don't know what is really kind of pushing all of this kind of dogmatic nature to this. I mean, I think the Charlie Kirk thing is obviously a huge portion of this, which is like what's been the main kind of tension builder overall. It's like throughout the show after show after show. I even watched through Tyler Russell's stream one night when he was watching, because he always has America First up there, and I believe he mods for the channel, for the Rumble channel. And we're like not even talking about, like he's talking about just something. He's talking about like Trump or something, and all he's doing in there is just like deleting comments about all the people spamming and sparking about Charlie Kirk. Just like no matter what you can talk about, and I'm sure you might feel the same for either of you guys, probably you, especially Foulball. It doesn't really matter. Like somehow it can just keep getting brought up, and it's got this dogmatic nature to it. And so it lends itself. All these people now are like looking like, look at all the little hints. And so when he says what he said there, which is what we talked about beforehand, they're like, see, like I'm the one, I found it. You see the way he said it? Like, oh my gosh, is anyone else? It's like, do you, it's so, to me, it's so retarded. Like, it's just so retarded. There's no other really way for me to even put that. It's like, yeah, so he's responding like this because he's just coming around and like, no, of course not. He's laughing at you. We're all laughing at you. It's like, I don't get how they can't understand that.
How do you not? Yeah, he's gonna have one of those apology tours. He's gonna go kiss the wall. He's really gonna come around. I was like, what's happening? You guys think this is real? Ugh.
The
Right.
problem is politics is full of autists, and they don't get it. There's not enough cues that he is joking.
Yeah.
And also,
That's interesting.
we know, like you were mentioning, like, aren't Jews supposed to be smart? How they get hyperbole? They're yes, but also no. Like, so for example, I'll give you some example of dumb Jews. That guy that Matan recently interviewed with the Gavin McInnes, that's like a dumb Jew. You know what I mean? That, like,
Rabbi Merzach, right? Was that his name?
Yeah. Like, who the guys we always talk about? That ugly, the super ugly one. Shmuley. Yeah, I love how you instantly.
I love it
knew.
that we knew. Yeah.
yeah. Shmuley, like, he is a dumb one because it's like, bro, if you're trying to help your cause, get away from cameras.
I mean, Hitler couldn't have come up with a fucking better, like stereotype. Like he'd be like, "That's too much. I can't go that far."
Life
Bro, yeah.
imitates art.
Reel it in.
When I become president, first executive order, we are going to forcefully shave his facial hair, dude. I will come with the Secret Service and a razor, and we're going to take you. We're gonna shave it down, dude. We're gonna make you clean up.
If you did that, he'd have like mandibles, like the Predator or something. Like,
like a praying man.
You find out it's not hair. It's not hair. It's part of his face. Like, wait a minute, this is disgusting.
It's like Medusa's hair.
It's like hard, like
They're
stalactites.
like little leeches or lampreys.
Well, you know, it's kind of wild. So, like,
It's like animal.
yeah, it's like a sea creature. I put out a debunking video about this because I felt like it was deserved, obviously, given all the criticisms there, and I've just basically been positioned on YouTube anyways as a Groyper, so I'm just like just going in and defend it whatever I can. And you even see too, like the name in and of itself does like not even have like direct ties. It's like the way people are even claiming about the name is that it's wholly Sephardic is like it's just incorrect. It's entirely incorrect. Like it's not holy. Like there's actually different branches of the name too. And so I wasn't even going to bore people to death with like going into like the deeper genetic history of it too, which is why I linked it to a couple of different people's works that they had on there. One being like Super Bob, and a few different ones as well. And you know, he's got he's got his 23andMe that's posted there, and then it doesn't matter because it's the same thing with Charlie Kirk. It's like, okay, well here's the evidence that it's not, and they're like, no, but actually in 2024 before 2024 they didn't even have Sephardic Jews on there. They didn't have references for them. So that must mean that his Iberia DNA and his other DNA,
yeah.
and it's like, but then I look it up and it's not even true. 23andMe on their page, both on their update, and then you can see some of these forums, these genetic and ancestry forums. You go and pull it up, and they're like, no, actually, before 2024, they would just put Sephardics with their closest genetic history, which fell into Ashkenazis. So Ashkenazi was like the super broad category on 23andMe, and the reason being was because of both Sephardic and there's another category of them. It's like it starts with an M. The Menats,
Mizrahi.
it was something like that. Because they didn't have their own specific reference profiles, they would just dump them into the Ashkenazi. So Ashkenazi had like this big profile, but at the same time, it was making the Ashkenazi like colluded. So they wanted to add the extra references there too. And it's like, it doesn't matter. The similarity there is like Kirk, Nick, it doesn't matter. And the reason being is because they already have their conclusion. They're not listening to you.
Yes.
There's nothing you can say. There's no evidence that you can present. Now, Nick, it goes a step further because some of that's just resentment. It's like, it's whether it's envy or jealousy or just pure resentment, it just doesn't matter. And so at a certain point, you do have to recognize, like, I'm just wasting breath by even trying to entertain this because it doesn't matter what I could say, how right I could be, how factual it could be. I could like drive to your house and show you, we could get a blood test on this person, and they would still find a way to say like, well, I think you actually rigged the blood test for you got here. Actually, it's like, dude, holy fuck. You're like, okay, it's like there's no end. Like the bottom has fallen out completely. Like there's nothing that is any kind of base reality for these people anymore. And I think that's what's really ultimately like most annoying.
No, I totally agree with you. I think my theory is just that most of these people sent one of the super chats that Nick crashed out and called them a total idiot, and now they just forever resent him. They're like a scorn lover. Now their feelings are hurt. Like, you're actually a Jew.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, when you think of like, I mean, you probably have personal references to this too. Like when there's like a guy who's seen as like the leader, or like there's a guy or a person who's seen as like the party person or whatever, or like that's the person who people gravitate towards, who has like the natural gravitas. And like you're publicly rebuked by said person. It's like that almost acts as like a stain on your character. It's like everybody remembers when Big Joe told Little Joe, hey, like you're an idiot, and then now Little Joe's kind of forever branded an idiot because most people respect Big Joe's opinion over Little Joe's. And I see a lot of that with all these A-loggers, whether it's Jade McNeil or whether it's AF Deplorable, their entire life becomes an obsession revolved around they'll be the one that figures out what Nick is. It's like, it's got to be a sad existence to live.
Just move on. Yeah, just do what Amy Dangerouslet did. Just, you know what I mean? Just become like a fucking regular YouTuber or whatever. Just move on.
Yeah. And they want to do all this, and then it's like, okay, so then where am I going to learn about the Claremont Institute? Where am I going to learn about Paul Singer and the connections between the deeper, patronage networks that wrap themselves around the CIA, In-Q-Tel, and Palantir? I guess Basil. I guess I have to go listen to Basil now. Like if Nick's gone, it's like, who else is even talking about this stuff? Who paints the picture for you? They don't. The average person that's the next level down from Nick is like, oh, and of course they're like, and then Israel did it, right? They're like laughing. It's like, okay, this is Candace Owens level stuff. I think most people in the room have kind of been permeated with this. What do we do with it now? What's the next level? And none of them have that. And then they struggle to understand why people are gravitating towards Nick. It's like, yeah, you're reacting, but Nick's providing the next step. It's like, you have the reaction, that's great. What's the next step? And for most people, the next step is, and then we just got to blow up the country, or it's the Ambazarian, and it's like, I'd put boots on the ground in Israel. It's like, you are fucking retarded, actually. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so, it's so much in there. But obviously, I think most of us here are obviously an appreciation of Nick, but I wanted to turn it to Josh, because I didn't ask Josh yet. What topic, what clip this week stuck out most to you that you want to go over?
Ooh, obviously, I think the which we've kind of already covered the Hunter Biden stuff, but I personally, and we talked about it a little bit in the group chat, I loved the Lauren Southern analysis of of the Odyssey. That was astonishing.
Let me grab it.
Was that in the Was that in the super chats? Because you guys were talking about that in the group chat, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking
It was.
about.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
early on in
I
the
missed
super
that.
chats. You must have dipped out early. Everybody remember that?
I don't
Cowball
really
left
do
off
the
your
super
No,
chats.
just kidding.
I
Just kidding.
can't do the super chats because like I do when I first started watching, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's so fucking brutal, these super chats, and now I'm just like, oh my god, these people are retarded. I can't.
Someone, before we get into this, someone super chatted, and they're like, oh, you discount violent revolution, despite the fact that that's the most tried and true means of like changing politics. It's like, dude, these people.
It's like, would it behoove people to just read a history book? Would it just like
How about
any
a
of
Grok
them?
search? How about search it on Grok? You know what I mean? Like, don't even.
That?
Let's not even ask you to do that much. Let's start with like the most cursory research.
Bro, I mean, dude, House is actually spot on about this stuff, dude. I have a huge appreciation for Mr. House. I don't even know if he's here in chat tonight, but House Leotardo, it's like been one of like he's been really kind of drilling it, like, and has been for like the last year and a half over to me about how just so many of the Wignats, largely the Wignats, refuse to understand why everything failed before. What were the reasons of the failure from the previous nationalist movements, previous pro-white movements, previous anti-Israel movements? And well, it was largely that they were just getting annihilated by optics. Happened to GLR, happened to Pat Buchanan. So you have, and then you have Joseph Sobron. You have so many of these people, and what was it? They didn't hide their power levels. They talked openly and more, out loud and expanded upon. Now, again, we're comparing eras; it's a bit different now. But some of the main readings you will find in the aftermath of these guys, after they lost or had friends assassinated or were ultimately kind of shunned and kind of put in prison, is talking about how ignorant it is to do this. So this show of force, this militancy, because so much of it attracts, in their words, I think it was writing from Pierce Williams, I believe, it attracts so many of the freaks. And no joke, Pierce Williams actually says, you know what? The best thing I like about the freaks is we get to actually sit here and go, no, we're not with them. No. We're actually, we're a political movement. These guys are freaks. Like, and we are. And so you saw this even play out with Nick recently after the AFU thing, where there's now this large grouping of these just Israel critical, a lot of them just brown clowns, but a good portion of them being Wignats, who just constantly out of their mouth every 2 seconds is, well, all right, I guess the voting doesn't work. All right, I guess this doesn't work. I'll see you out in the field, boy. It's like, dude, you are insane. Like, you are just extremely reactionary to this. And it's not to say I don't understand the feeling. It's not to say I'm any more okay with being around black idiots as much as you are, but it is understanding that it's like, that's been tried and done before multiple times by multiple people with those kind of open-ended optics of, we're gonna just do it no matter what the cost is. We're not gonna try to meet people where they are. We're gonna expect you to just go with us.
Motherfucker. You have family and shit. Like, it's like you're gonna sacrifice them for this idea of a revolution that it's completely disorganized. It's not like there's a militia or even it's like Caesar had like an army. You just have like a bad feeling. And like maybe you're incredibly well armed and maybe you're even good at military tactics. It's like, okay, where's your platoon? And by the way, a platoon's not going to do shit. So how many men do you have? Can you coordinate? Like, what are the goals? Like, how does it play out? Like, what do you overthrow the White House? Like, what is it? What are you even talking about? Like, when these guys they start crashing out, it's just like, okay, so you can go ahead and plan that revolution and then go to prison forever.
Right. But it's just like
shut up.
It's just, again, it's the asymmetry of everything. It's the asymmetry of, obviously, like, the power of that is just entirely out of control. You can't even collectivize. I mean, like, just think about it. Like, you can't even get into a big group on a platform somewhere and talk openly about it. So how are you going to do? Like,
right.
And then it's all decentralized, right? It's like half the people in your group chat are in Alaska, the other 2 are in Spain, and then this guy's in Texas, that guy's in Jersey, and that guy's over in Pennsylvania. How's this going to happen anyways? It's like, exactly. It's just simply just not. And like they refuse. Like, and the thing is they refuse to go through to want to be a part of or play ball with a revolution of thought, a revolution of Groyperism, if you would even, if you would call it that. They hate it. They hate it. Everything's fake. It's all rigged. There's no, and it's like, okay, well then just be blackpilled then and get away from me. I mean, that's got to be the response now at this point. Like, you just have to get away.
Yeah, like just go, go raise a family or go play video games or what you can. There's other things you can do.
Right.
Like if this is so overwhelming for you, if it's the most blackpilling thing in the world that it's not going exactly how you think it should right now, it's like, yeah, okay, just live out the rest of your life, man. Like, there's other, you can just turn your phone off. You don't have to be involved. Like it sucks that you're going to watch the slow decline of the West or whatever. But if you can't engage with this in any kind of healthy way, maybe it's just not for you. Leave it to us.
Well, and it's to be said that we criticize the boomers all the time because there's this sense, basically every single person in America has this sense that something is wrong, and therefore there's this urge to do something about it. But the average person, they're just not capable. It is the teeming masses. And so what do? They go to the sources. I go to Fox News, and Fox News is sunshine pumping, and they're saying, here's the problem. Here's what you need to worry about. And here's why it's not that big, so they're really just seeking comfort in these things. And, we criticize the boomers for Fox News and, the establishment media, but that's most people. And it really doesn't make a difference, the fact of the age, because people of our generation are seeking the exact same creature comforts, but in Twitter rather than on the TV.
Yeah. Well, you also get this idea that like politics is only voting. Like it's like, is that
exactly.
It's such an insane reduction to think that politics is just only like about the voting process,
right?
Given everything that goes into it, and even beyond that, I think you're right, Josh. Like it's a comfort thing. I think that they take, misery loves company, and so I think that's why you see like you get these kind of concentrations of people who are kind of black pilled, and they'll kind of repeat the same thing, like, oh yeah, well I'll see you out there. Well, it's all inevitably be over. It's like, and that has no guarantee of success either, by the way. Like, just like, okay, you want to all go out there and you want to swarm and do whatever. It's like, okay, well, I'll watch from over here as I watch like the direct energy laser come flying down in Arizona. It's like, like I don't even know what to expect at this point. And even further than that, one thing I would even say too, it's like, it's kind of funny how we used to laugh at, this is just 3-4 years ago. We used to laugh at the masses, right? During the COVID element, you watched how people like the masses are so easily influenced. They go along with current thing. And I think this now, the Israel thing has become that. And I would even say further than that, we would laugh at the jokes of like I think it was Mario Emanuel might have been, or maybe it was somebody different. And he's like, well, for the people, but the people are retarded. Right. And everybody was kind of like, they agreed with that. It's like, yeah, the masses are dumb. You can't trust the masses. It just can't happen that way. Like the masses are going along with like general sentiment, and they kind of find comfort in the consensus when they see that many other people believe in them. It's actually kind of very female coded to go off along with consensus.
What was it last night where what did Nick say about the masses? And I think he was quoting
said, fuck
Hitler.
the multitude. And I agree.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. What they're swine like, or the multitude it was something. And I was like, is that a quote? And I think he was quoting Mein Kampf. I'm not sure, but I was like, I think that's a quote.
Well, it just goes to show, it's like, well, what changed? Like what flipped? Like all of a sudden we were all agreeing that the principle is like broad democracy is a miserable thing. Like the mob rule shouldn't exist. It's obviously going to be heavily directed and swayed by emotion. And then now 3 years later, it's the same thing. It's like, well, if everyone can be woken up to Israel, it's like, actually that's happening right now, and it's terrible. it's literally like, it's like the worst thing ever of all time. It's like, which is why you have Nick going and saying these things of like, I'm switching sides. Actually, I'm going to go over here now. I'm going to join the other team. And the reason being is because it's very unrefined, it's very poor, and it's very liable. And the liability, I think, heavily is also, again, in the vein of the Charlie Kirk stuff, because I have a fear that you're going to see somebody do something in some way, shape, or form, whether it be violent at the actual trial when it's going on, like because they're all going to be all jammed up and jazzed up when Candace Owens repeating over and over and over again that, they were after me, they killed him, like it's all evil, it's all corrupt, there's nothing we can do. Well, what does it invoke upon somebody? It's like, I have to do something. Well, what would you do in that scenario then? If the trial is looking like it's heading towards a clean and clear conviction of Tyler Robinson, you're going to go do something to stop it, right? And then what does that invoke? Well, it just becomes ammunition for the system to go, all right, we tried giving you rights and privileges. I guess we got to take them all away because you idiots won't stop, killing each other. Or even in that vein, but they'll just use that as ammunition to say, this is why we have to have harsher censorship on YouTube, because it started breeding these radicalism. And then Lauren Southern gets a better spot on the Daily Wire, and she gets to go, guys, I've been saying the radicalization of YouTube and everything that's online, and it just gives them everything they need. It gives them everything that they need to keep doing what they have been doing. And then, it can't be lost on anybody either that, again, going back to like Nick, it's still a huge problem that there's literally one person, obviously I'm being reductive. There's more than just one person, but very few that can explain to you what the diaspora in this country is, what it does, what its purpose is, its connection to Israel, what what the monolithic entity is between them, how it's operated in other countries currently, how it's operated historically, the connections and where they find the investments and the connections to things, again, like the other institutional powers, the vertical integrations of things like with Barry Weiss. You can't get that anywhere else. They don't want to even hear it because they think for some reason, I think some of them think they're even above it. They're like, we just know Jews run everything. It's like, that's not good enough. Yeah,
I know. I think they think they're above it. I think that somehow they have more insight. And I don't get the impression that they read a lot. I don't get the impression that they have like another political, like vector where they get their information, like another political outlet or whatever. It's like, I just feel like they have a general sense, and then that's as deep as it goes. And when Nick disagrees with that sense, then they're just, no, fuck him. He's like awful. He's actually a Jew. And it just becomes like this thing where it's like, I get frustrated even like articulating an argument in my head because the bar is so low. You know what I mean? You're like arguing with, an idiot. So I did look it up. Sorry, just 1 second. I did look it up, and it was Edmund Burke that said that the swinish multitude, that's who Nick was quoting.
Makes sense. Go ahead, Josh.
Just for clarification.
I was just gonna quickly say that, like, it's basically a hobby to these people, which is fine, but be honest about it. Like, at least Nick is doing something. Ironic, that's what they say. Well, Arval is doing something. Nick seeking political power through legitimate means is doing something, even if it's a doomed proposition. At least it's something. It's not just bitching about it.
Right. Agreed. Well, it's also, again, it's politics is not just voting. Politics is not just who is holding office. Politics is the robust and comprehensive nature of everything that goes into all of that. The strategy implied, the groups that are backing them, the donors, the money that goes. It's just to limit it all to just like what your vote is, what your vote does. It's just, and it's to me, I don't even understand how you get a worldview like that. But I wanted to play this real quick. I must have missed this.
Oh, sorry.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Send Sneako to the salt mines with no tools. Send $3. Josh looking like he belongs in the Odyssey.
That's hilarious.
The Odyssey is crazy, bro.
The Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
Oh my goodness.
And let me address this before we going back to the Odyssey. The perfect timing on that.
Yeah, I really want to hear this. I did watch some of the super chats. Jeez, they go on for a while.
But
I'm right there with you. I used to be the same way.
It's 9 times out of 10, it's slop. I mean, or it's crap. But like you miss nuggets of gold in there. And this was.
Well, that's why I like Grimaldus at Asuka Groyper, because they clip the good ones.
Right.
I don't have to sit there. Like I just pulled it up because I wanted to see like when the supers. So the supers last night started at 2:50 and they ended at 4:30. That's an hour and 40 minutes of super chat. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's crazy.
It is true. I typically go to 2 times speed in the back half.
Do you like pancakes or waffles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, some of them are like, I'd be crashing out too, dude.
Protestants are like rebels, right? You don't like Protestants? You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. So you're telling me like we're like the rebels, in the Empire, and we got to get Palpatine? It's like, dude, it's yeah.
Dude, my favorite is when he just gives a deadpan stare at the camera and then just like goes back and doesn't even address it. He just
just clicks on the next one
in the camera and then just moves on.
It's funny, dude. He's hilarious.
He's the funniest dude. I texted that to Joey because I was just starting to talk with him, and I was just like, bro, why did I not know how fucking funny this guy is? And he's like, he's hilarious. I was like, I know, come for the anti-Semitism, stay for the humor.
It's funny.
I love the ones where he's just like, dude, I'm serious. Never watch my show again. You don't belong here. Like, He's like, I don't care. I don't want your money. I'm going to refund this super chat. Go away.
Right. Well, I want to read this here real quick before we move away from it. And I want to hear your guys' actual thoughts on this before I give mine. This is from J.R. Williams. He says, Atlas, what are your thoughts on these new messages she released, she being Candace? The timing is dubious, but it's undeniable. Charlie Kirk's fallout with Israel began before we thought.
What are the? I hadn't heard about this. What are the text
Yeah, I don't know.
messages?
Is there a new drop, new lore jump?
Oh yeah, okay. So maybe you guys haven't seen this. Yeah, so I don't remember where. Oh, I don't know who it originated from. I'm assuming Candace did, but one of them was like Andrew Torba, I think. Quote tweeted it or pushed it and amplified it a bit more. I think his tweet might have been the one that went viral. But it's tweets in 2023. The texts are from 2023, so I'm gonna start with that. And it's the one thing I can remember from the text message. I read them briefly, but the one was Charlie Kirk saying that these Jews can go to hell. Something to that effect. It's like these Jews can go to hell if they think they can control me. It's a very similar, very similar rhetoric to the kind of the original set that we got, which was he's like, if they think they can boss me around, then I have no choice but to lead the pro-Israel cause. And the first thing I'm going to say is, like, where were these the entire time? The second thing I was going to say is if you see them the way they're formatted, it does not look organic. It doesn't look anything similar to the previous messages that she's released. It looks like there's some clear kind of like, why do they look old? It doesn't make any much sense to me. The third thing I would be is, again, the timing. 2023, he said that. Okay, where did it net him? What did it get us? Where was his pushback at?
How did he pivot? Like, then what? How did he adjust? Like, what did he do? All he did was advocate for more and more war. You know, like, obviously he was against the Iran war, but like he helped Netanyahu every step of the way massacre the Palestinians. So exactly where was this this miraculous change?
Right. Yeah, if he's telling the Jews need to go to hell and he's really in on what's going on, then like why was it like a month and a half before he was killed that Josh Vanderlord's going in wearing a yarmulke along with Zeb Boykin, because they're literally trying to go at Charlie for his obvious love of Israel, his philo-Semitism. You're telling me after we went after Operation Midnight Humor that he did what exactly? He praised Donald Trump. He praised Donald Trump publicly, while admittedly he did go in there and he was pushing back against the overall war with Iran. Only for what? To get his ass reamed then and get kicked out of whatever meeting room they were in, and then Trump called him like a week later and then reprimanded him even further. He's like, you stupid, dumb, idiot. And then again, remember,
he wrote that letter. He wrote that letter to Netanyahu. That's like
begging for a truth
long,
department.
just like glowing with praise and basically trying to say propagandize the American people better.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the truth is like I said, I haven't seen these texts, but based off of what you said, Atlas, it's circumstantial.
I'll put it up on screen.
Charlie Kirk was the top goy. So he's going to be dealing with Jewish people in his business, in his day-to-day, and Jewish people are assholes. So of course, yeah, like him texting one-on-one with someone being these Jewish pricks. Yeah, like I'm not surprised really at all that he said that. But what was he saying on his show? The thing that they were afraid, supposedly they were afraid of his message.
We'll react
his
to it.
Message was always pro-Israel up till the end.
Have it on screen now.
I said fuck people that I love.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that now that's it forever because I said it once like a magic spell.
Let me zoom this over here.
He wrote it in stone tablets, foul ball. That's the difference.
Can I go one more? That's as much as I can zoom in, so I can't really move much to be able for you guys to see that left-hand side of that message. But this one says, again, from 2023, it says somewhere on these other ones, 2023, I think that's on the right-hand side, actually. He says, I'm generally confused why asking questions and quoting Bible verses about peace warrants a call to resign from the Daily Wire. That's a tweet that he's sending her to Candace Owens. He says, don't resign, it's what they want. She said, there should be more room in the conservative movement for disagreement. We can do better than this. Candace responds, I won't, I know. Charlie Kirk responds, Jeremy 100% workshop this. This is not Ben acting alone. This is a hit. Candace responds, I believe it. I believe that 100%. It goes on. No, we got to go to the next one. This is 2.
Wait, he said I told all the Jews something? What was that?
Yeah, it's
Oh, is that a separate? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a series of this here.
Okay.
She says, this is a sea level hit against you because they think they can provoke you. She says, yes. That's why this is all coordinated. Also, Marissa involved, I suspect. They always send her out last to talk sense to me. They want you to do a video. OMG, I'm out. I won't work for him. I believe it. Marissa Street, she's part of the tribe. Don't listen to her. I know she is. Let's go over to number one. Marissa Street.
What a stunning conversation, by the way. Like
it just reads fake, doesn't
Candace
it?
Owens is like, yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I read it the first time. It just reads fake. Okay, so this is the one right here. It says, I've told all the Jews recently to go to hell who try and stop me. She goes, it's unreal, an implicit threat. He responds, by the way, did the flight work out okay? She goes, by the way, you were featured in my Tucker interview that just dropped. Defending you hardcore, forgot to mention he just dropped it. Just thank you, we're on the same team. Screw these people. Around the 20-minute mark. He says, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And then this last one here, Tina says, and here's where you can see November 15th, 2023. Thank you so much for having my back. You know I have yours. I'm really so disgusted by what they did to you. Years of service to the pro-Israel cause when no one cares. Treating you like you're only as good as what you can do to them. Plane worked out great today. Thank you so much. Made all the difference this pregnancy. I'm assuming, LOL, literally 40 weeks. Here's what I will say. Of all of them, this one seems real. This panel seems real. He goes, absolutely, we're on the same team. People are waking up. It's finally happening. It's so transactional. I'm repulsed by it. For years, I was called a Jewish shill, and now they say I'm a Hamas agent. Screw them. The game has changed. Excellent.
That doesn't mean anything. I made a video about that, like when I was still like a MAGA guy, and I said that, you know, they say that Trump loves Jews and he's a Nazi. I'm like, how can both be true at the same time? You know, and so it's like, that's all he's saying there. He's just saying, well, yeah, they call me a Jewish shill, and they also call me a terrorist. It's like, that doesn't mean he's like coming around. Like people are waking up. It's like, to what? Maybe he meant MAGA.
Could you go in on those highlighted texts one more time, Atlas? Absolutely, we are on the same team. People are waking up. It's finally happening. Again, like waking up to what? That could mean 100 things. It's so transactional. I'm repulsed by it. For years, I was called a Jewish shill, and now I'm saying a Hamas agent. Yeah, and again, Nick brought this up recently. And genuinely, I've heard so many variations of Israel's motive in killing Charlie Kirk. So I can't even properly steelman the argument. But, you know, Nick brought this up. So I'll just reiterate what he said about how, okay, so they killed Charlie Kirk because he was going to invite Tucker Carlson to some Turning Point event. Well, Tucker Carlson went to the Turning Point event anyway. And, okay, they were afraid that he would convince Trump not to go to the Iran war, even though him and Trump were having like a touch and go relationship at the time. And Trump's like most personal confidants couldn't convince him of anything, which we have records of.
Right.
So why Charlie Kirk? Why then?
Well, it's like
the only thing I ever saw that was like at least kind of tracked somewhat logically was there were all these videos of Kirk going around, you know, saying that, like, you know, we can't do a war in Iran, can't do war in Iran. And even what's that guy's name? Joe Kent said that, you know, last time he saw Charlie Kirk at the White House or whatever, or somewhere in Washington, he was like, you know, make sure you hammer him about the war in Iran, no war in Iran. And so maybe the only thing I could kind of concoct there would be that, well, if their biggest cheerleader, if their top goy was out and about and influencing people and saying that, you know, this is bad, that maybe getting rid of him would help that messaging, but it's so thin that it's like, I don't know. I don't buy it. Like the fact that Netanyahu immediately refuted it, I think actually helps the case that it had nothing to do with Israel, because like, it's like they probably were pumped that they had nothing to do with it. They're like, yeah, no, we didn't kill this guy. And it's like taking heat off of us for massacring children for a day.
Well, and again, it's, I think you brought this up, Foul Ball. The biggest piece of evidence is the letter from Charlie Kirk to Benjamin Netanyahu, which I remember when that got released, everyone was saying it was fake. So it's like, okay, well, we're just picking and choosing.
We should revisit that, actually. Let me go see if I can find the letter before we play the Odyssey clip.
I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're fine. The other thing I was going to add onto this was the reality of which, like, all of it then stems from, like, that Charlie Kirk was like the singular sole entity that would be able to like he's like King Arthur, and he's gonna wield Excalibur, and the bad guys all like dissipates. Like he didn't have that kind of power.
Well, I know, and you know, Atlas, we've talked about my boss Ken before. He didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was.
That's crazy, dude.
Admittedly, I will say that too. That's a little bit crazy, but it's still it's like even the boomer audience, they were like, you know, like, and the young people. So I'll say this.
Well, one thing
again, this is extremely circumstantial, but to me, the best argument that maybe he wasn't doing a good enough job. I don't think he was against Israel, but maybe they killed him because they thought he wasn't doing a good job of defending Israel, would be his panel that he did, where he got a bunch of young Turning Point chapter heads to come on with him and Andrew Colvett and express their concern about our support for Israel. But again, that's just circumstantial. Well, it's not circumstantial. It's like, it's not good enough. It's not juicy enough.
Well, my thing is like, okay, Jack Posobiec is against Forever Wars. Why didn't they get him? You know, like he's against the war in Iran. Like, okay, so isn't like quote unquote like Tim Pool is supposedly against war with Iran. So is like insert any number of one of these establishment Republican chills. They would all say the same thing, and then when the time came, they packed it all in and they went with Trump. It was exactly what Charlie Kirk said. And to me, I don't really think it's the letter. To me, I think the biggest piece of evidence is the fact that after we literally struck Iran, he's literally congratulating Donald Trump on X publicly. And what is he doing? What is he doing even inside of that? Not only is he's congratulating Donald Trump, he's actually defending Donald Trump. You can find the tweet. It was from June 23rd. It was directly after the strikes on Operation Midnight Hammer when we dropped the B-2 bunker buster. And he's saying things like, see, simple operation, done in and out, done in a day, no new war started. He's doing all the things to say like, see, it's just a single operation. We got the nuclear enriched uranium done. Congratulations, Trump. Clapping for him. When everybody else who knew that this was not going to be the end of it, we knew almost immediately. It was like the day afterwards. We knew from it was French satellite images that the bunker wasn't destroyed at all. We had, and it was those same French satellite images that were picking up that they were literally transporting them in what I believe was to be blue containers by pickup trucks to different locations. And it was like the day of, we knew it wasn't even a successful strike, meaning it was going to lead to further conflict, further complications. But again, I don't know. People get their information from X and they don't look anywhere else. This is some of the letters from Charlie Kirk. Trying to find some of the stuff here. I'll get to the other point here. Let me pull this up. We'll put it back on screen here. So from the desk of Charlie Kirk, I'm probably have to zoom in on this, aren't I? I'm not going to zoom in on this one, but this is like the opening thing. He's like, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews in the fight to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. Most recently, I'm proud to take blah, 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 blah. And he's bloviating. So this whole first portion is him just being like, so understand, I've loved Israel. I've done everything in my power to love Israel. I spent endless hours with Dennis Prager over the years studying the Torah. Sometimes it feels like I'm defending Israel in public more than your own government. Okay, all of this. So then he starts listing out these questions, like the common pushback. Okay, and this is what he goes on to say. I strongly suggest Israel not always depend on subcontracting their information war efforts to surrogates in America. So I urge you to revamp your information warfare strategy from top to bottom. Sometimes the impression is given that Israel thinks everyone hates them, so I care about winning over hearts and minds. If there's any truth to this impression, I urge you to consider that social media and podcasts is where you fight for the hearts and minds of the younger generation. So he's literally telling them, he's like, you need to start infiltrating further. You need to start infiltrating further into the ecosystem. Yeah. So then he has different points. It's like 9 points total, I believe. Was it 9? Yeah, so it's 9 different points. I'm trying to find the one specific one. Yeah, here it is. It's point number 2. He says, I strongly recommend putting together a team of pro-Israel experts who can fact-check misinformation in real time from Israel. Israel needs to take the lead in this effort. No more dependence on subcontractors. Israel never asked for American troops because Israel does its own fighting. I suggest the same approach for the information war. You lead and people like me will follow and provide supplemental support. If you're open to revamping your communication strategy, my team and I are happy to assist you.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, look, why is this not treason? You know what I mean?
Like, do you see this?
Why
right here?
is it not treason?
Can anyone in the classroom read what this says?
What, number 3?
Israel Truth
Israel
Network.
Truth Network.
Yeah.
Like, the website can be a place where Judeo-Christian leaders and groups can. And this was how many months before he died?
Not many.
Like 3.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, but he was coming around.
Yeah.
Really?
and it's all a lot of that is like based on what he said on Patrick Bet David's podcast, where he was like acknowledging the genocide for what it is. And they're like, see, he's waking up. And it's like, dude, Charlie Kirk was a very over and open-hearted guy. Like and we appreciated him for that. He was very empathetic. And so, like, yeah, I'm sure as a Christian, he doesn't enjoy seeing children being blown to pieces. But to stretch that and act as if he's on this massive awakening red pill journey where he's gonna usurp Nick Fuentes and he's gonna be the shot heard around the world against Israel, it's like it's honestly got to be maybe the most impressive retconning of who Charlie Kirk was I've ever seen of any person, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, legitimately, but like by the time he had died, like the observation that it was a genocide was just common knowledge. Now it wasn't really disputed. Like there was a time for a while where it was, but by then it really wasn't. And so for him to acknowledge that might literally have just been strategic. It might just be like, yeah, I can't just keep running with the rhetoric because they'll know I'm lying or they won't believe me or I'll lose a lot of people. So I have to kind of like concede this point. I'm not like implying any kind of malicious. I don't know the guy. I don't know his heart, but it's just like that doesn't mean anything. Like you can see the before and after pictures in Gaza, and it's like, what are you going to tell me that that's not a genocide? Like what is the other counterpoint to this?
Right, exactly. You know, and JR says again, we'll go to the Odyssey clip right after. He says, it's hard to know what's true anymore. Joe Kent said Charlie urged him at the White House to talk to Trump out of Iran, and we know that, and we know that he tried, and we know they kicked him out of the room.
That's also what Joe Kent said. You know what I mean? Like he's a spook.
Yeah, and but Joe Kent, spook, who's working with who?
There's no evidence of this. It's like, yeah, it's what he said. Well, Charlie's not here to refute that. So we're taking a CIA guy's word for it.
We have the report, of that instance. We got that early on, that Charlie Kirk was like, became a shouting match, and it was basically everybody in the room, including Trump, was yelling at Charlie Kirk like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. And they literally made him leave. And the report that we got just a couple months ago was that Trump was actually so pissed at Charlie Kirk trying to insert himself in that way that he called him later on to reprimand him even further.
Maybe the conspiracy is that Trump had Kirk killed. Why isn't anyone taking up that angle?
Yeah, right. Well, I think what stands to reason now, when you look at all the chips on the table now, is it does seem to appear, and you see like Sneako and like combine these things, right? We had this moment in time where, well, before all the Israel became the dominant narrative, was everybody was reacting to a deranged leftist with a gay transgender boyfriend who shot Charlie Kirk because he thought Charlie Kirk was a Nazi. And you had this kind of basic runway for most people, which was like, we need to pursue the energy with this right now and really stick it to the left for what kind of disgusting group they have become. And then what ends up happening is the Israel narrative begins to dominate. And the left, all of a sudden, all of this anger, this kind of like vitriol towards the left dissipates, and now it's all generated inside of this broader Israel conversation. And now, fast forward to where we are today, with Dan Bilzerian and Sneako and Leonardo Joni and Jake Shields. What are they all pushing? There's no difference between the left and the right. Oh, come on, guys, don't fall for that. Anyone who says the left and the right are two different things, like and they're adding into it. They're aiding this part that like the left is not a thing. Like the left is not deranged. The left is not violent. The left is not even an entity to be concerned about. And I think when the chips are on the table now, you begin to look at it like, was the PSYOP done to be instrumental towards helping save the left, ensuring that the major culpability and blame of this did not rest on the left broadly? And it seems to be that would be an effective thing.
Because like even the best of the left who are Israel critical, I'd say someone like maybe like Ryan Grimm, is probably the best on the left who's Israel critical because he's smart and he's fact based. But ultimately, he is he's a democratic socialist. Like I was watching his show one time, or I was watching Breaking Points, and he quoted Ibram X. Kendi. And you're like, oh, like of all the people to quote, like, so it's like that's who the best of the left is essentially a race communist, most likely. Like he doesn't talk about it much, but you can read between the lines and hear little details. So like that's the best. The worst are like all these other people who would start by wiping out Israel and then come to your house next. You're right, you're just below Israel because you're not actively committing a genocide right now, but they associate you with all that stuff. So this concept of like, oh, there is no divide. It's like, motherfucker, there's a huge divide. It's like we just happen to have a common enemy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something to be said is it's like, I still don't think there's any good evidence really that like Israel had motive to kill Charlie Kirk, at least the evidence that's been given. But it would be a different story if Charlie Kirk's neck exploded and we had and to this day, we still had no idea what happened. If we weren't even sure it was a gun.
Totally.
But we do have an alternative theory and it's pretty solid. And I mean, Trump got shot. Like it's one of the, like, is it all staged?
Right.
Is it all, like, is Trump staged? Is the ear thing, it's too much.
Right. And well, I'm glad that Donnie said the term. I think it's a good way to say it. He says the uniparty is definitely real. I don't think any of us would sit here and say it's not. But the uniparty is also not your brother and sister. The uniparty is not your mother and father. The uniparty is not your sons and daughters. The uniparty is not your neighbor. And I think that's what the big confusing element is, which is like, yeah, the uniparty maybe is very real. When you see it's like out of like the 400 Congress people we have, 316 of them support Israel. And the only 100 that don't are like the AOC like progressives on the left wing.
I was going to say that's a pretty big departure from the uniparty. The left is going to have to figure out a way to deal with the DSA because like they are a subversive group and they are not part of the uniparty.
Right. Exactly. And so I think that's why they're gaining wind though right now. It's because like it's very obvious it's really the only like entity in the actual government that is not pro-Israel, which is why I think they're beginning to gain ground like with AOC and some of their other DSA people. But again, it's like, we all know that there's left wingers out there. You just have to go outside. Anybody who works a job knows they work around a bunch of left wingers. People are predominantly liberal, like the base people on their base form, if they're not politically initiated, they are more than likely just liberal. Yeah, there's a left versus right divide. That's a great way to put it, Millie Reed. He says there's a left versus right divide, not a Democrat versus Republican divide. And that's true. The only thing that there is it's like you have what would you say that? There's like a progressive versus just conservative divide, if you will. Yeah, establishment divide. It's like that's really all that really exists. And that's, picking hairs, splitting hairs, if you will. But
yeah, they're just like it's a left-wing Tea Party.
Agreed. I'm going to see if I can find actually a shorter version of this. I'm going to look up Lawrence Southern real quick, the Odyssey one. I do have a clip. It's just a 9-minute one.
This I want to see. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll go back to being funny.
Seem to really like it. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's a shorter one. Okay, this is perfect. All right. Back to being funny. Back to being funny and not taking our tinfoil hats off. we're gonna relax for a little bit. Here we go.
Talk about the level of narcissism. Lawrence Southern, it's like you are a YouTuber. You are a commentator, and not even a good one. You are a failed commentator. Oh, let's also be honest. She fucked every guy in the alt-right. You fucked every guy in the alt-right. You grifted saying you were some kind of trad girl. I'm trad. I'm, right wing, whatever. And then not only were you fucking every guy in the alt-right, but then you settled down with a guy who wasn't even white. You were like a white nationalist trad girl while being a whore and settling down with a black guy. Now you're a single mom with mixed race kids. You come back for money. Like that's why you're making a comeback is for money. It's a short-term grift for money. And then you deign to think you're above it all. You deign to come back as a commentator, and how you're going to rebrand is I'm above it all. I was a commentator. Now I'm more than a commentator. Now I'm telling everybody to not commentate. Stop posting. Stop giving takes. Talk to one another. It's like, bitch, what do you think you're doing right now? You're no better than the rest of us. You're just a greatly diminished wannabe influencer. You're just a greatly diminished wannabe influencer, and your influencer brand is above it all influencer. But it's still a brand. I'm not like those other influencers. Yeah, that's your brand. Your brand is that you're above it all. So, but then the narcissists think that that Christopher Nolan's highest grossing movie of all time, this $1.2 billion grossing picture, is about YouTubers like yourself. And more than that, it's channeling your message like, holy Rorschach test.
Your take on the Odyssey?
Yeah,
what was that?
I was going to say this kind of skipped over that.
I'll play the longer one.
Okay.
Yeah, it played the beginning of it at least.
Yeah, so it's this one, and so what led into that, the clip we just watched, was him taking down Lauren Southern's extremely disgusting and vile excuse for a political synopsis of the Odyssey. And so I will play that. That's the next clip here.
I love that. Because that's the thing. I think like Nick gets a lot of like kind of, I guess, due credit for being harsh, and he is harsh, but he is extremely respectful, like, to people. Like, you could see the way he was talking to Hunter Biden. Like, he is a respectful, kind person, and I actually don't even think he's really like a true sexist in the sense that he like resents a woman like when he meets them or something. But like when they get in the field, like if they step into the arena, it's just like a fucking laser beam from space and just like
yeah, right, yeah, the directed energy weapon.
Yeah, it's just like then there's just a smudge where she was standing. It's just like
just like the black scorch marks. Yeah, that's all that's left.
Yeah,
but no. Here's this one, and this one, it was just hilarious, man. I didn't even know it existed, and I wish I wouldn't have never found out, but here it is.
She writes, "The Odyssey is the most important conservative film of the last decade. Nolan is openly mocking those who think there's any importance whatsoever in the cast looking Greek in a film about a psychological journey. Christopher Nolan, the like eminent filmmaker of our generation, made this with Matt Walsh in mind." Like, what? Christopher Nolan, who made The Dark Knight and Inception and Interstellar, he put Indians in the Odyssey. Specifically, he had Matt Walsh in mind. He's like, I'm going to troll Matt Walsh. The culture wars have taken far too many victims. Now too shallow to conceptualize anything beyond a surface level. You actually go deeper like Odysseus. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like, ChatGPT didn't write this because ChatGPT is infinitely smarter than this. Okay. Like, dude, Haiku is better than this. What is the Claude base model? We're not even talking Fable. We're talking Haiku. Haiku 1.0 is smarter than this. Most are just wearing the disguise of Cersei stripped away. Oh. We have a full-blown chance to recover a civilizational inheritance that has guided people for thousands of years. One that reminds us a society survives only when people are willing to return home to responsibility, sacrifice, and order. However, the suitors or commentators taking advantage of a civilization and psychological disorder don't want their audiences doing this. They don't want Odysseus to return. The return of Odysseus is the return of rightful order. So to her, the Odyssey is an allegory. The Odysseus is people that watch YouTube content. And I guess Calypso and Poseidon and Scylla and Charybdis are YouTubers. And she's above it all. She's above it all. It is those other culture war YouTubers. It is those other people in our crazy culture war on the right and left that won't let their viewers talk to each other, have debate. It's like Dave Rubin. This is like Dave Rubin's take on the Odyssey. Dave Rubin is like, if it wasn't for all of these radicalized commentators on the woke right and the woke left, people that disagree with each other could have conversations again.
It's like,
I was just gonna say, I can listen to the rest of that all night. It's great. But I was just gonna say, this reminds me of like when those LGBT freaks like read into like some kind of movie and try to find how it's an allegory for becoming trans or something like that. And you're like, what are you talking about? It's like this echo chamber inside their own head. You know, it's like they're just, everything is a reflection of their own ideas and how they're right, and they transpose it onto every piece of media. Like that's what Lauren Southern's doing with her analysis. You're just like, what are you talking about?
Well, it's like the vanity of it all too, right? Like she's watching the Odyssey and she's just like, no one wrote this about me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, how can you be so vain? And you know, and I'm sure you guys probably saw her when she went on with Michael Knowles, right?
No, I saw the clip that was going around where she was saying it was like something about being a woman or whatever.
Dude, well, here's the thing. So here, two parts of that. One, fuck you, Michael Knowles. Like, just fuck you, dude. The second would be the people who are like in the non-Groyper, but like the Christian like revival, Christian like reform crowd. All they were going is like, my wife wouldn't talk to me if I did this. Like going to Michael Knowles, and it's like, dude, that's okay. Now everyone just knows you're gay. like that's not a good critique either. Like that's this.
Really
why is that your
bad,
first response when you see that? Is you're like,
I guess he's sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's like, dude, bro, like, oh my gosh,
y'all will get a kick out of this. So I got a friend. He's a normie friend, and we were talking about the Odyssey movie, and he was like, dude, have you like? I've always heard of this Matt Walsh guy, and I thought he was like a parody account. I saw his like.
That's awesome. He thought it was satire.
Yeah, he thought it was satire. It's like I didn't realize this guy was like a real person who like genuinely believes these things he's saying. And I was like, bro, you think he's bad? And I started sending him Michael Knowles clips, and he blocked me for like a day.
I would too, bro.
Who was that female account? It was like a fake female account who was like the woke woman, and she would go super hard, but it wasn't real. It was like she was a troll account.
Oh,
you know
my
what I'm talking
gosh.
about? She was big in the 2010s.
Dude, it was like Dr.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the one.
I know who you're talking about, bro. Yeah.
She like briefly came back, and she was a master. Like whoever ran that account was brilliant.
Yeah. It was like, I can't remember what it was, but she was like Dr. something or other, and she had the craziest profile picture. But her tweets all the time would be like it would just be the most insane rage bait. It would be like,
it was because it was so close to a real take. It was perfect.
I know.
And like he thought that was who Matt Walsh was. It's like that rules.
You know what's hilarious about that? Here's a connection. When she came back briefly around like 2022, 2023, Matt Walsh got rage baited by her and quote tweeted her, and then deleted it afterwards. Yeah, dude, I was like, that's brutal.
That's like those. It's like those videos where they have two AIs talking to each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's
who's the girl who does it now? Angelina Ballerino, isn't that what her name is? All her videos are. Yeah, she posts videos all the time, and she was like, "It's like, oh my gosh, let me go find one. This is what I do as a strong liberal woman." It's so, bro. Like,
that's great.
It's like even when you know it's satire, it's like, I still hate you. Like I still hate you.
Who's the one who's like the hot girl who like does America First type content and shows her pussy? You know what I'm talking about? Like you've seen, like, not literally, but she like the camera is framed so that like her box is like in the shot.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't know the name at all, but she's like, I don't want my son to become a magnet.
Yeah, because he'd be a fag or like a liberal or whatever. Yeah, and it's like it's just it's just Pearl. It's just Pearl in 2026. You know, just like she said base things.
She's wearing the gray sweats.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it's like right up her, like it's like the camera's like right up her asshole. You're just like, okay.
I can't remember what her name is. I thought it was Angelina.
Map.
Yeah. Literally, yeah, exactly. Gynecologist, he can already tell.
Yeah,
knows what's going on. Yeah, he doesn't need you to.
Donnie's right. It was Dr. Ann or something. I fear you in trying to look this up. I have no idea.
What was Dr.? She was great. That account was great. There's another guy who does that. He's a good troll account. He's a good dude, and he looks really soy. So like his like he has like he's bald. He wears glasses, and he puts out videos, and he rage baits the shit out of people all the time. They're so good.
Oh,
there's a woman out there,
black beard.
Yeah, Yeah.
Is that the? Oh, okay. The guy I'm thinking of, like, recently debated Andrew Wilson. Is not the same guy. This guy's like a parody account.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know who Wilson was talking to, but I know that guy. He was like bald, and he looked like he would be a barista. He looked like he'd have really soy liberal takes. Like, it's great. He's perfect. And so then he would, like, just say the most obvious, and people would get so rage baited by him. It ruled.
I don't know. This is a total sidebar, but like have either of y'all, what you just said reminded me of this. Have either of y'all like actually met a transgender person in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I lived in Austin. Yeah.
I've only met two, and they both had incredibly bad BO, which is like, it's a small sample study, but it's like, dude, the amount of people I run into that are like white people that have horrible BO is extremely low, and they just also happen to be transgenders.
It's because they're not. They got it. What is it? What's it called? Is it expanding? What's that thing they do when they got to make their hole? They got to widen the hole.
Ooh, I have no idea.
There's like a certain term for it. What is that called?
I don't know. I knew like a bunch of trans people like in Austin because I worked in like service
You don't
industry.
seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Feed Sneako uncooked chicken until he gets hospitalized in Minecraft. Groyper sent $3. Lauren Southern's Opusy.
Lauren Southern's Opusy.
I missed the super because I was laughing. What did he say?
It's funny. The name was give
name.
Sneako raw chicken until he is hospitalized in Minecraft. Groyper, I think, was like the gist of it.
Yeah, that's the.
We appreciate the power chat though. Thank you.
He said Lauren Southern Odyssey.
Yes.
I heard that Basil was the first person I heard say the Odyssey.
Really, that's funny.
I saw on Twitter. Yeah.
No, but I'm going to show you guys this. This is who I was thinking.
Okay.
Of. This is the girl. Okay, ready?
Oh.
The captions: I'm 44. I left New York City. Have baby fever. Moved to Florida. Own my first firearm. Left a Democrat Party. Are you seduced? 2 million views. This one's not even as bad as some of these other ones, right? Like, you can find the other one.
Is she like, is this real or is she like LARPing as like
I was going to say, is this like ironic?
I think it's ironic. I've never really figured it out. Here's one.
There's some black woman who posts all the time and she's like all the LGBT, all the worst stuff. And it's like the troll's so good. I'm like, is this real? I honestly can't tell.
Yeah, and I don't really even know. Like, this one's like, where'd all the classic liberals go? Am I MAGA now? And it's like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, I guess. May go like way back.
She's got like the
maybe she did start drifting towards
girl.
MAGA. Like, what's this one? If Turning Point. Oh yeah, that's what she calls herself, the Bold Lib.
Oh man.
If Turning Point USA wants the Bold Lib to perform my chart-topping summer hit Bold Lib at their Super Bowl halftime show, I'm down. I could most likely get the legendary rap icon Alex Stein to join me for a monster collab.
Sit to pee. If he doesn't, he's not for me. Alpha males, please. Gas stoves are a big no-no. Climate deniers got to go. I'm a
I can't even unironically watch this. Or ironically watch this.
I can't tell if she's legit or if this is a troll. I honestly can't tell.
Okay.
He's good at it though.
The thing.
Yeah.
Her physiognomy betrays the fact, like, it would be too funny if it were unironic or if it were ironic, and she's a girl. So I just can't get there. I feel like this is serious.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Chopped, busted, cooked.
Her dress looks like that image where it's like, name one thing in this picture, and it's like also
Yeah, that is true. It looks like a Maryland flag that's been like left in the sun for 100 days, and then she turned it into a dress.
That's a really, really big four. That looks like one of those pictures, you know, when you would do like it would be like a gender swap for a face. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what do you look like as a girl? And then they kind of vaguely look like a girl. You know what I mean? Because
her dress literally, it has the ball sack crease going down the middle.
That is true, dude. She's probably wearing it inside out.
See that, dude? That is a ball sack on her chest.
That's crazy. Somebody said, isn't this just from Lydia from Timcast? No. Have you seen Lydia? Dude, Lydia's like pushing, it's got to be 900 pounds, if not a half ton.
Yikes.
Yo.
I mean, like, if she trips and falls, you'll know.
Damn.
Because California won't exist. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Does Tim Pool still get numbers? Like, does he still does well, huh?
Yeah, I saw him recently. Not nearly as well as what he used to, but he was like still pulling 15K live when I saw him recently.
I can't.
He used to be at like 30, 40K
Who
live.
watches Tim Pool? All right. But who watches Tim Pool? I honestly, I can't. Like, he's such a joke.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Yeah,
I can't get over the voice.
I mean, he was peaking when I was watching him back in like, what would that have been? Like 2020, like 2021.
That's when I was watching him too. It was around then.
Yeah, he was pulling like,
because he seemed like a liberal who was drifting to MAGA. That's what it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, oh, okay. And he would have balanced takes, but then you realize he doesn't have takes. Like, everything he would say, he would like qualify by the end of it. And you're like, so wait, what? What is your point? What are you saying? And he's just annoying. Like, I don't like his voice. Like, I'm a big fan of like the Boys Cast, like the comedy podcast, the Boys Cast with Ryan Long and Danny Polshuk. Yeah. And they would go on there, and I'm like, I love their appearance, but I'm just like, every time Tim talks, I'm like, shut up. Let them talk. They're funny. You suck.
Yeah. Well, there'd be some episodes too where he'd be doing that like really badly on. Like, there was one like back in like I think it was in the middle of 2021. And I think his name is Preston Para. I think it's his name, Preston Para. I don't know really what happened to him. I know he was a lot bigger back then. I don't know what's kind of happened to him recently, or maybe he's a part of something now. And he was one of like the first Israel critical people to really even like try to take Tim on. And it just turned into like a shutdown match. Like, it wasn't even much of a shouting. It was like Tim Pool like wouldn't even let him speak at certain points. And so it became like Tim Pool's show for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Was that the clip going around about the USS Liberty? Because I saw him like shut that down. I don't know if that's what that was from.
Where was that from? That was, well, he was shutting down Ian on that one. That was Ian Crossan who was shutting down then, because Ian was sort of like broaching the subject. I don't know if they had a guest on at that time or not. It's been so long since I've even like watched an episode. I mean, I remember when like the Adam Krigler thing all fell apart too. When he ended up, they got really big beef. And that was because Adam Krigler was going a lot more pro-Trump than where Tim Pool was at. Ultimately, though, Tim Pool did follow. Tim Pool ultimately did become, very, very pro-Trump there at the end. But it was because Adam Krigler being so early onto it, it was kind of like, it was going against where Tim Pool's audience was at. And so they basically had like this kind of like this big break there. And Adam Krigler went and did his own thing. And shout out to him too, because he's been pretty successful even since then, pushing his own stuff.
I'm always blown away by the influencers that still have like an audience. So like, people out there, like, if you have like the inkling to do it, like, yeah, you might as well, because like these fucking people get views. Like, there's no reason why you can't find your crowd.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, people still tune into Tim Pool and watch it earnestly.
Yeah. Well, think about, every year though, someone who turns 18, right? Like, and so some of these new people, these uninitiated, maybe recently getting initiated, they're going to have different starting points, much like how I would imagine some people maybe watched like Asmongold, but then now they watch Nick Fuentes.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Because we were all, I mean, that's when I was a bit younger too, right? Like, I was younger when I was watching Tim Pool.
Sure.
That was like when I was in college.
There's a kind of a natural pipeline.
Yeah, exactly.
All roads lead to Fuentes.
Right.
Let's go.
And I think it's funny too, because I think there's an element of that, I mean, again, most people are just base level liberal. So it makes sense why so many people end up like filtering through Tim. Because Tim positions himself as like a commonsensical classical liberal, which like might catch a lot of the young men who like aren't nearly as far to like the left wing. But they hear some of his takes with like Trump and they're like, yeah, I do kind of agree with that. And they get intrigued, and then they listen. And then, a year later, they're flying off the merry-go-round, and they're like, now I'm a Groyper. Like, now I listen to Nick Fuentes. Or like, now I listen to, Stu Peters or whoever else may be on that list.
6 years ago, that hit really hard. Like, after the peak of the IDW, like being a classical liberal hit hard. So I could see that.
Right. Well, I wanted to turn it over to, I guess, another clip here. Did either of you guys have one in particular? It's a burning clip, since we are here at the 2 hour mark.
The one that I liked, and I remember this as we were thinking about it, was when Mondami backs off the arresting Netanyahu thing, and then Nick's like opening monologue was Kino. It was great. Good boy.
I thought that was good. Right.
That was great.
Let me see. Do I have it? I mean, I have the one with you know. I'm gonna actually go check that if I can find this, because that was something I actually talked about either the day before, like that day, a few hours before, or I talked about the date, like the day prior on my stream. And I was just talking about how it's kind of like a win-win situation, because either Zohran Mamdani like ultimately does get packed in, or he backs down, which he ultimately did. You know, he pivots to the fact of, well, there actually is no way we can really do the arrest, even though he promised it during his campaign. So now it kind of looks like, okay, maybe people get angry at Zohran Mamdani, or like how Sneako and others were doing, even when he was pivoting and saying, hey, we can't do it, but we're still going to honor, we still think the ICC, we're still going to keep the pressure on Netanyahu. They take it as a win regardless, which just keeps the pressure there on Trump and on Netanyahu. And so either way, it's like you're going to get some benefit no matter what outcome there is of this. Let me see if I can find this.
Oh, it's a political move by Mondami. If you're savvy, you can recognize that, yeah, you just totally pussed out and you don't have any you're not actually going to follow through on the things that you're doing. But, you know, from the perspective of his base, they're going to be like, yeah, you can't, you know, it's like, this is why Trump, like, you know, you can use that in two ways to like attack Netanyahu and pivot it against Trump. You can use both, like, you know, your two enemies, make them more villainous in your audience's head.
Right. Well, I do have a clip here for the Mamdani part, so I'll go ahead and play that now.
That he does not have the legal authority to arrest Netanyahu, but said the Israeli leader is not welcome in New York ahead of his expected attendance at the annual UN General Assembly in September. Oh, but you see, he's not welcome. Oh, all right. Well, that's a nice consolation. So we thought that Mamdani was going to have him arrested and detained, but now we're just going to let Netanyahu know that he's not welcome. Hey, man, I'm letting you know you're not welcome. You may be here and you may be walking around and you may be staying at a nice hotel, but we don't want you here. And I just want you to know that. Like, okay, so what? Who cares? Dude, the whole Middle East doesn't want them there. There's 1.3 billion Muslims that are telling all the Jews in Israel, you're not welcome here. Isn't that sort of the whole problem? Isn't that really the basis of the entire problem? In case you missed it, all of Israel is in a place where they are not welcome. The whole fucking country of Israel, all 8 million of them, are not welcome in the Middle East. Surrounded by countries that are reminding them all the time with rockets and missiles and suicide tests, you're not welcome. Now, part of the problem is that's not really sufficient because they're still there. Be that as it may, that they are not welcomed into the region by their neighbors, they are still immovably there. In just the same way that Netanyahu may not be welcome in New York, but it's not going to stop him from existing there and doing his evil, wicked deeds there. That doesn't change anything about that. So you see the problem? We go from saying we're going to physically apprehend Netanyahu to we're going to let him know that we're not happy about him being here. It's not really the same thing.
And what's the end result of it all, right? You end up getting, you have some people who are like, I think Clint Russell was like, I think Clint Russell might have quoted him when he did like the 2-minute, you know, press release or whatever. He's over on, sat in the desk and said, you know, gave the statement, which is what Nick's responding to, and said, see, we called it, we knew you were going to back down. But then Sneako, I remember, specifically quoted it and said, like, you know, that's my mayor or something like that. And it's like, are you retarded? Let me see if I can find that.
I would bet
that's why he's my mayor.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't watch the whole clip. I bet he didn't, because it's like he doesn't concede until the end. Like it's the last like 15 seconds of his video. It's only 2 minutes long, but that's where he concedes it. Like, we don't have the authority and we need Trump to do it. You're like, okay, probably not going to happen though. Like,
Well,
You're the guy who's literally ruining his entire political career and legacy and potentially the, freedom of like his friends, his cabinet, and his family for a war in Iran. Yeah, he's probably not gonna arrest Netanyahu. It's probably not gonna happen.
so he had even said that, admitted it in an earlier press conference, like the day before, actually, where he had also been getting clips too. And he says at the very end, and I replayed it for when we were on the stream. It's funny because he says he's like at the beginning, he's like, we're working with law enforcement to work with these ways we can get Netanyahu, we can honor this arrest warrant. And then at the back half, he goes, well, we're gonna do what we can to honor the rules that are on the books, and it's like, so he's between these two spots. But if you understand it, it's like, of course, the NYPD does not have jurisdiction over Netanyahu if he's in New York.
Like international jurisdiction.
Yeah.
They barely have jurisdiction over the criminals in their own fucking city.
Well, and there's not even a federal mechanism for this either, because so part of the reason why the ICC court is
That's
not
like an act of war. You can't just.
well, it would be, I guess, in the terms of the way they would understand it. But so what is it? Israel is not a party to the ICC. It's like the Rome Statute or something. And the United States does not recognize any non-country. So the United States would not recognize the ICC court warrant towards Israel because it doesn't recognize any kind of I forgot the way they frame it, but they don't recognize that outreaching because Israel's not a part of their group. So like, why would Israel be needed to get served a warrant to something that they're not party to? Like they already said, we're not a part of what you're doing. And so therein, it's like, of course, NYPD does not have like Netanyahu would have to break a New York City law on like New York City turf for them to be able to do anything. Like Netanyahu would have to like fight a person in
murder
public or
like
something like
us, a bus full of orphans. You know what I mean? He could probably break a lot of laws before he gets arrested in New York City.
That is true.
Yeah. He'd have to be like standing in Times Square covered in blood with like a decapitated child's head in his hand. You know what I mean? Like it'd have to be, okay, well now we have to arrest him.
I think
he has a jagged ceremonial Sikh knife.
Wouldn't that not have been an interesting thing to see though? Like say they would have found something like not major, maybe it's like a misdemeanor or it's some kind of even like statutory crime. Yeah. And then Zoran tries to go after him. Like that would be a crazy timeline that Netanyahu gets booked in New York City jail because he knew it ultimately would happen. It would be Trump coming in to bail him out. And then those optics overall would just be like, for many people would be like, dude, this is just awful.
I don't even think, look, I don't really know. I'm just speculating, but based on how the Israelis operate, like, I don't even think like his guards would even let him be taken without some kind of a firefight. Like the Israelis don't play
and you think
games.
That's true.
You think a beat cop is gonna like go up against like the
Mossad,
IDF security guy? Yeah.
We're talking like the Navy
happening.
SEALs of Mossad, like that. I don't think that's even. I feel like if there was any even chatter that was gonna happen, right? Like it would be preempted before it even got coordinated.
Yeah,
I would love to see that body cam footage though.
That would be viral. I would watch that. I might even cover it on my show.
Dude, well, we were talking like this too. Like, you have Netanyahu's like big Yahoo. He's like aura farming in New York City. He flies up to New York and he's like, come and get me, boys. He's like wearing a Deport Sneako shirt, like taking photos in front of the precinct. He's like, come and get me, guys. Like, can you even touch me?
It's like that AI edit of Charlie Kirk in Fast and the Furious, where he's just like, "This is Tel Aviv." Like,
that would be crazy. He pulls up to New York with Charlie Kirk alongside him. He's like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Get Kirk and Epstein. You know what I mean? Just rolling deep, like chain on. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. I would guarantee the feds would just shut it down somehow.
Yeah,
the National Guard would get involved in some way or shape or form. Maybe the governor of New York comes down and clamps down on Zoran Mamdani. It would have never.
I like what Nick said later, which was Zoran is just the exact same. He's the same as Donald Trump, just on the left, where he promises big and delivers absolutely nothing. He's not even delivering on the things that what was it, like cheaper, like the grocery store? Yeah, the grocery stores. Like that's just not happening.
Right. None of his campaign promises are coming true. What was one of the very first big ones that he ultimately failed? I'm trying to remember. There's like something he promised like on day one. and then it never materialized. And then
I
the
thought
big
it was the grocery stores, like they would break ground or something like that, and then it's
you
like,
might be
okay,
right.
well, we got money for one, and it won't even be done by the time I'm not even mayor anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was he promised that he would not be raising costs, and then it was like 3 weeks in.
Oh, yeah.
They look at the budget and you're like, so I hate to break it to you guys, your taxes are going up. we got to be able to fund these. We got to be able to fund these things. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to go to? We are a little bit past the 2-hour mark.
And yeah, I'm down. Anything you guys want to talk about, I'm down. I love talking about Nick. That's why I'm thank you for having me, because it's like he's this guy, like I love talking about him, and I talk about him sometimes on the Sunday show that I do on this channel, and I talk about him sometimes on my show on my channel. But I don't know, like sometimes I feel like people are like, all right, and I'm like, you don't get it though. he's so intelligent, he's so smart, he's so funny, and so I'm glad to be on a show where we could just talk, just openly glaze the guy.
Right. It's what's it called? I mean, it's there's this just gotta acknowledge the fact that there's just a natural IQ.
We do a little Nick writing. We do a little Nick writing.
Yeah, right.
Groyper.
Right. You know what's funny is like people say that like in comments and like everything all the time, and it's like I'm sorry, like this isn't. You're gonna have to do a lot better than that if you like want a reaction. You're really gonna need. It's like I know that I'm hated, and it's for a good reason. So like you're gonna need to do a lot better than to get a reaction. And so and think about it too, like you see like a lot of the Groypers talk too. It's like, yeah, I'm giggling and slipping and putting it back in. What are you gonna do about it? it's like there's nothing here. It's just like you like one of the comments we got in here earlier was like, we're gonna call the Groypers the Gaypers. It's like that's lovely. Did Jake Shields write that?
Whoa,
like
you got us. We're done.
Yeah, dude. It's like when a girl responds.
Death.
It's like when a girl's trying to get a comeback, she's really mad. Yeah,
it's like
okay,
a
well,
girl.
you're gay.
Yeah,
I literally
it's
just
like
had
trying to
sex
talk
with you an hour ago.
sports.
It's like, what are you
When a girl's
talking?
trying to talk like shit with like our sports team or whatever, you're like, okay, sweetie, that's so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm Megan, and I like fantasy football.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Yeah. What, the Seahawks, they don't even win anymore. You're like, okay, all right. That's, like,
we're doing tricks on it. Doing tricks on it, reverse cowgirl. I've tried to commit to memory like that line of his because I love it. He's like, doing tricks on it, spinning on it.
I always like, I'm always like that because I could like, it's so visceral. You're like,
Well, and like when he says it, he's like, "Yo, Trump is giggling and slipping it back in." It's like, bro, that the image is
It paints a picture, dude.
Yeah.
It just paints a beautiful
Yeah.
picture there. It's funny too. So much of it does feel like projection as well. Like the same thing with like what Sneako's doing, right? Well, you're gay. Like all you do is talk about gay shit. It's like, like at a certain point, it's like you got to have. There's got to be something else in the repertoire, which is why I think he started moving to Pablo. Started calling him Pablo Fuentes or whatever his name is. It's like,
nice.
there's got to be something better than that, right? Like surely you guys have had how much time? How much time have you had to like think of something and like your best response is to call him Jewish?
And I don't like, my thing is like, I don't know, like wake me up when Nick is wrong about something. Like you cannot like him, you cannot like his disposition. What I don't care, man. I don't actually give a shit about that. Whatever you think, fine. That's that's subjective. But his analysis is spot on. So when he's wrong, let me fucking know. You know what I mean? Shake me out of bed and show me the clip because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, when they do show it to you, you're just like, bro, like he was joking, right? Like it's like like you're just like, and it's just like because at a certain point you just kind of get annoyed by it, because I think all of us just kind of have a natural threshold of like, that's dude, like I get what you're saying, but it's like at the same time, it's like I don't have time to listen to pedantic, schizophrenic idiots. Like if I entertained every homeless guy on the street, I'd never come home. So
Exactly.
That's why at the point now where it's just like, dude, just ignore it. Like it's nothing now. It's like it literally just means nothing. It's like let's just move on.
I literally was like getting ready to type a response in like some Twitter thread where they were trashing him and they were all wrong and everything, and I was just like, you know what? They're too stupid to even begin to engage with. It's like It's like that thing when someone's like a standard deviation of IQ lower. It's like you literally can't understand each other's arguments because you're operating on completely different mental wavelengths. So it's like, never mind.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, well, I always say it all the time, dude. You know, fool. What's this saying? You know, fool is the folly for the fool, folly for the wise man who argues with the fool.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
I remember hearing, yeah, Jay-Z said that, like in a song years ago. It was like, and I think it's a quote from something, but it was like, you know, don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who's who, and the whole thing.
Right. Exactly. This is better. It's like if you know that they are like retarded, and you know that it's like they're just they already have their conclusion, their mind made up. Like, yeah, there's literally no even point even engaging. It's like you just start a discourse to go nowhere. It just becomes a bunch of shit flinging.
And I know
it's to get frustrated.
It's difficult to do, but because that's something like we all as guys have the inclination to do is to like conquer, but it is like I have to prove that I'm right. But again, you're operating on the assumption that you're talking to a person that can understand you. You know, at a certain point, you just have to go like, okay, Nana, you're right. Whatever you say.
You know how they come across to me though? She's very beautiful to me. You like that's how a lot of these guys come across, and it's like, bro, we do not care. Like,
she's very gorgeous to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, bro, like just go do something in Minecraft, I guess. But no, it's probably good. It's probably a good place to go ahead and end it. Appreciate everybody for being a part of the Groyper report tonight. Thank you very much. Viewership spiked. Like we had a filtering in of what's that? Was it reprobates? No, what is that? We had a filling in of subhumans? No, what does this say? I really can't tell. Anyways, for those who are human, we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you very much. And for those who have an inner monologue, I have an even greater appreciation for you. And for everyone else, please find the exit somewhere immediately. I miss a donut. I miss a donut.
Let's say come back tomorrow night around the same time for Right Wing Pulse.
We know we played this one, Smelly, but I'll play it for you because I think you must have been gone.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Send Sneako to the salt mines with no tools. Sent $3. Josh looking like he belongs in the Odyssey.
Yeah, but that was one of the first ones we played. On YouTube. I missed one on YouTube? Oh, I did. I appreciate that. He says, Josh looks like a Renaissance painting.
Let's go, dude.
Hey.
Oh, wait. That reminds me. I at the very beginning of the stream, I wanted to say something. I wanted to say this, and I just totally forgot because we started talking about other stuff. I was like, chat, rate the three of us from white to black. Who's the most white?
Who's the swarthy?
Yeah,
right. The whitest. You look the whitest to me.
Okay, we'll do this then.
Hell yeah, dude. I beat the Jewish allegations according to Foul Ball.
We're going to do a poll?
Yeah.
We'll do a poll. We'll go by results. Who's
the whitest Groyper reporter?
Whitest Groyper reporter. Okay.
Wait, so Six Bombers is Matt, Josh, Atlas, but what is white? Like, what's the whiter? You know what I mean? Like, is Atlas the most white, or am I?
Well, Atlas is definitely not the most white.
I think I'm going to win this one, actually.
You're whiter than me.
I'm probably never going to win one.
I'm a swarthy. I'm Italian and Irish. Like, how do I rate so high?
Someone's asking, did Josh have a YouTube show he was back on in maybe 2018 or so?
It may have made its way onto YouTube. Because in 2018 I was in college and I had a radio show where we did movie reviews.
He was at Hebrew University.
I was at Crap State.
Let me looks like Josh is winning. I can't tell who's in second. Is anyone else?
Let's go.
Oh, I can click on it.
Let's go. I'm cheating though because Zeb's not here.
Yeah, you're dead last right now.
Yeah, I'm in last.
If it were if we had John Ward, Zeb, and Jack from KinoFlex, it'd be more of a toss up. You'd still be in last, Atlas, but
I know. I'm still
toss up for me.
Yeah, I know. I get it. My past, to be fair, I was a wigger for a very long time. Atlas vocal cords are black.
Stark.
That's funny.
And let me ask, did you like relinquish it one day, or did it kind of slowly fade out?
Slowly fading out. Like I still have urges, like every now and again. Like
You're like, it's like the Green
Wiggers
Goblin
Anonymous.
mask.
well, like listen, like you guys, I don't know who's gonna relate here, but like you ever heard a car drive by the road that's playing like Dr. Dre, and you just like all of a sudden you look down and you're crip walking.
Let's go.
Like it's happened to me every now and then, you know. Like and listen,
Atlas. It's like hi, my name's Atlas, and I'm a wigger.
yeah, right, exactly. But I grew up like that too.
Wiggers
Like,
Anonymous.
yeah, I mean, I grew up
You have,
basically grew up out of a trailer park.
You have
in that scene.
like a chest in the basement that occasionally you open, and it's got like a bunch of bracelets and dirty teas in it. You know?
yeah, like.
Oh yeah. There you go. They survived.
They did.
Flat snapbacks and like like a chain, like
Yeah, I got one right here.
a bandana. It's like
I'll do you one.
it's like it's like in the Patriot, like he's got the chest of all the.
yeah.
I still might have it.
There are things that I've sinned that I feel I'll never live down.
It's like in the Dark Knight Rises when he goes in the Bat Cave for the first time in like 8 years. And
Okay, I don't think I have a chain anymore. Like, here's one of these.
He does have the bugs.
let's go.
Yep.
This is for Versace. I never wear it, but it's so expensive. But I keep it in my box. Never did the shoe collection though. That's for sure. That was never.
Oh, that's funny. I probably have more Jordans than you. Probably. I have like a small collection. They're classy Jordans though. They're laced up. I don't think I was like a wigger, but I listened to a lot of rap for a long time. It was like the only music I listened to from like, I want to say like 17 to 20 something, so all I listened to.
Yeah.
I went deep. I'm like in the intellectual stuff. I'm into like Gangstar and Black Star and Mos Def. And yeah, I guess that's wigger adjacent for sure.
Y'all are speaking another language to me.
Yeah.
Y'all
I ran
the ancient scrolls of black rap. Yeah.
Well, I ran dude, I used to be a
Black magic.
SoundCloud rapper at one point.
Yeah, dude, pull it up. Pull it up. Yeah.
Come on. Are you serious?
I can't do it.
Serious?
The Discord, my community knows this. People in my Discord know this. I've posted some of the songs in there.
Oh, wow. That's pretty juicy.
Let's
That's
go,
pretty juicy.
Yeah.
I was an actor for a long time, and there were some embarrassing things that I did. And I pulled them up on like a live stream like years ago. I'll never confess to what they were, but they were pretty bad.
That's funny.
They were pretty bad.
Somebody said that recently, and I didn't know that about you. Who was that?
Probably Cinch and Dildo, probably ratting me out. Little fucking Croatian.
I don't know. Who was it?
Little Croatian. That's crazy.
Some Croatian guy. That's funny.
Like, we did my new live chat for like 5-6 years, and he's awesome, but he's like a ride or die. But yeah, he loves to remind people of the embarrassing past.
I can't do it. I can't give people that ammunition against me. I'm sorry. I can't pull it up.
That's a lot,
I can't
dude.
link
That's
it.
hard. That'll be hard to live down forever. Like this YouTube channel will blow up, and then you just have to like your haters will have that. That's tough. That's a tough one to hand them.
Well, what's funny is I sent it into the Discord, and like Donnie, who was not expecting this from me, was like, that actually wasn't that bad. I was like, okay, hey, but no more posting, no more is coming in. And it's like the last person I expected a compliment that did, and I'm like, maybe I should have kept going.
How long were you a SoundCloud rapper for?
2.5 years. And
wow, okay.
I also ran a Heat Seeker broadcast with another guy who did a lot of hip hop music, and he actually went on. He founded the company called the Double Cup. And then and that's where his YouTube started. And then he eventually pivoted to covering soccer. So he actually kept going and turned it into something. I bowed out pretty early because that's when one of my first during college ended up dropping out.
Podcasting was in your blood, though. That was always there. The blueprint was always there. I will confess, when I was in high school, I wrote a rap one time.
Yeah, you ever freestyle?
Yes. Yeah, we would hang out, get high, and freestyle all the time.
We did too. We had a group of us. There's a band of us. It wasn't just me. There's like 6 of us in this group that rapped together.
I had a buddy entered a rap battle like competition in Montclair in New Jersey, and he didn't do great. He kind of froze. It was pretty embarrassing.
Me and the same friend who thought Matt Walsh was a parody account. When I was working at a radio station in Charlotte, we got like I had him. I had to do a night shift one night, And I was just like, dude, just come over and we'll hang out. And we were in the recording studio and we got so bored. We came up with a like gay rap lyric. You know, these like
That's
gay
funny.
parody songs.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Our gay rap artist names were Sweet Tea and Post Cum.
Sweet Tea is actually great. Sweet Tea is hilarious. No, I just went by A-Shep.
A-Shep?
A-Shep, let's go. Let's go,
What
dude.
does
That's
that
awesome.
mean?
That's
My
his
name's Aaron Shepard. Yeah. I just went by A-Shep.
Oh, that's actually okay. That's not that bad.
Well, most people knew me by, like, when I was younger, by Shep. That was like the
Really?
like my name.
No one ever called me Matt. It was always just Fowler or Foulball.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the last name thing. That's
no-
kind of how it was for me.
Yeah, no one ever
Shepard,
called
Shep.
me Matt ever. Yeah.
Yeah. But even just knowing that, I hope that you can't find it. If you guys can find it, it's on you. But
That's
Dude,
pretty good.
I'm gonna be up all night trying to find
I
that.
know. I'm gonna have like Claude on one screen, ChatGPT on the other. Just
that's
like
funny.
one of those
If you're in the
sequences
Discord,
in a
you'll be able to
movie.
find it. It's in the music section of the
Oh,
Discord. One of the songs is.
Wow. Oh man, is it? Do you cringe when you think about it, or you're like, it was a thing?
No, because I was actually pretty decent. My voice talent is
Okay.
real. So like, I always said that. I just wasn't
All
like,
right, that's good.
I didn't fit the identity of it though. Like I eventually became more Christian, and then I was like, not wanting to be around that kind of stuff anymore. So I slowly started dissipating away
dude,
from it.
When I started getting older and I was listening back on like the rap that I grew up listening to, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this shit's fucking horrible. Like I loved Wu-Tang, and you're like, this is so vile. Like you have like this thing like where you like walk up to a dude and like shoot his mom in the head. Like you're like, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what do we, like this can't be good for your psyche. And yeah, it is pretty grotesque, a lot of it, to be honest.
I do want to say,
Dad, but
I hate to end it shortly, but my wife just called me and she's in the chat too.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I am needed because my daughter needs me. So I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
get
I
ready
see
to
that.
sign us off. But Foulball Productions, where can people find you at?
well, I'll be on this channel tomorrow night doing Right Wing Pulse at 8 p.m. Eastern. So check that out, where we do our like weekly recap of all the interesting right wing conversations going around on the internet and such. Probably we'll talk a little bit about Nick and Hunter, but I don't want to beat it to the ground. It's been talked about a lot, but there. And my show on Foulball Productions on YouTube, you can find the MFR podcast every Tuesday night at 8.
Huge. Thank you very much. And Josh, where can people find you?
As for me, really, you can only find me here on the Groyper Report, at least for now. Gonna get back in the full swing of things. For those that have been paying attention, the Firewatch business is actually starting to take off. So hopefully I'll be able to quit my job before too long, do that full time, and then get back into content. So it's coming.
Let's go.
Cool.
Let's
W.
go.
www. And yeah, you can find me AtlasThugged everywhere. I exist all places. No, just kidding. AtlasThugged on YouTube and on Kick has become the primary two elements, and we are back to producing videos. And so, yeah, definitely check it out. I'm going to be trying to hold myself to at least 2 at a minimum, try to get to 3 if I can, but 2 to 3 videos a week. And then all the live streams that come with it, Defensively Accurate, usually airs anywhere from 6 to 7 to 8 or 9, depending on what time I start. And then you can find me on the Kick streams. I do the gaming stuff on the weekends and then just show desktop streams after the Offensively Accurate streams. So I am always present for the most part. But with that, you guys have a good rest of your night. Christ is King, as always has been, always will be. And if you can't say Christ is King, well, kill you. No, just kidding. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Convert. Agreed.
Where do you stand politically? Give us your political ideology.
Okay, I can say anything I want.
Yeah, bro. Say yeah.
The day-to-day stuff, I'm like, yeah, more bullshit. Another white girl got stabbed to death? Of course she did. What do you expect? For my politics, I just watch America First with Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
I consider myself a Groyper. Sometimes I just wait to hear Nick's take to make sure I have the right take before I make videos, you know? So, yeah, I just go with what Nick says. I just defer all my political opinions to Nick Fuentes at this point. I'm America First. I wish that we had white Christian men running the country. It's unbelievable to me that we have a government that has a policy other than America first. How does that make any sense? We pay taxes, like, use our taxes to benefit the country that we live in.